Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on
Who is that supposed to be?
I was pretending I had a cold. I don't know. I don't know who that is. And I don't know why I was pretending I had a cold. It's not funny these days. I don't know if it was ever really funny. Boy, that was a time. Funny. It was. I never missed a day of work. Yeah, because you were sick 18 days this year. And you came in.
And then you got everybody else sick.
Yeah. Welcome in. No, Carmichael Dave's not sick. You guys know that. He's off today, off next week as well. Is that why Christopher Laud brought in donuts? Is this a celebration? The first donut day of 2024 is here.
I just felt like donuts today.
You did. You texted me that yesterday. I tried to support that with the appropriate gift sent your way, the closest to the sweet dance I had one time when you brought in donuts that I so desperately needed one time.
You know what?
Was that pretty close to... Not the character I sent, but the dance that I sent on the GIF
is close. Let me see if I can find a better GIF.
Oh,
right now.
okay.
This is bad because this isn't even like going on to YouTube.
I know, but if I see it and I can put it on the camera, I will. Good morning, everyone. Jason Ross here. Christopher Laud as well. We'll take you till 10. This Friday show. First Friday show of 2024. January, what is it today? 5th? Yeah, it's the 5th.
Yes.
Well, you know what we're going to do today? Have a blast.
All right. I just sent it. I think this was more. I think it was more of this way.
Let's see how long this takes to get here. There it is. Let me open. Is that the sloppy swish?
Yes.
Okay. From SNL. That's a deep cut from anybody that would know that. For those of you in our narrow casting, Chris thinks that's the closest replica of how I danced. I think it was during a time of Lent where I was giving up sweets and you brought in donuts and it was over. Actually, Lent was, I'm like, ooh, I can have sweets. And I did apparently a one-time dance of a lifetime that Chris will forever have in your mind. You're like, and I tried to repeat it. You're like, no,
not even close.
No, I go, yeah, this was, you're like, no. So it was so, I felt it in my bones. And whatever
it wasn't even, you weren't trying to do it. It
No.
was just a response that your body made.
Yeah, it truly was. It was an out-of-body experience, a dance that I did in studio that you'll forever have in your mind. You're welcome. So Chris brought in donuts today. Appreciate that, Chris. We've got a full show for you today. We will wrap things up today with Friday Fun and Games. This has I'm anxious for today's Friday Fun and Games, so we look forward to that. Plenty to go in between, including the voice of the San Francisco 49ers, Greg Papa. How's it feel to call a game that means absolutely nothing? I mean, we get to week 18, and the NFL did this for a reason, took away a preseason game, which we thank them for that, to get another week of NFL action. Yeah! Week 18 is a little weird this year. A lot of people are not playing. We will discuss that today. Your Sacramento Kings are in action tonight. Go ahead and predict how that'll go. Good luck. Kings and Raptors. Busy weekend for the Kings tonight and Sunday. They play the Pelicans. Boy, that team's been a nemesis for Sacramento. We will discuss that today. Brendan Nunes, our Sactown Sports insider, will join us at 8 o'clock. We've got 4 down territory. We got some predictions in pick 6 and 3 in the key. 3 for madness. All our usual suspects coming your way here in a moment. Yesterday on the show, Dave found the magic folder of highlights that have been there for years of like great calls. I think that was a Grant and Doug COVID summer special
Nailed it.
Yeah. Is that when it was?
Yes.
Yeah, you were on the afternoon show. So that's when those guys were doing, like, was it a bracket? Like, of greatest calls?
And I want to say it was like a combination. Then we had like polls that we put out on Twitter and
like maybe
website.
A day-to-day, like which call was better. And so Dave, for whatever, it's been in the folder for years, but Dave found a folder that we have here of stuff. And Dave found it and was playing it. And he randomly played the Michael Phelps relay with Jason Lezak.
Yeah. When he played that, I'm like, okay, obviously you said something to him about it.
Yeah. And you knew the story. I knew the story. I didn't know that Dave didn't. That's fine. It wasn't like this. So told the story of Jason Lezak, who's the anchor leg, comes back. It's one of the great comebacks in the history of sports. And you knew, and I told you before that I actually coached that guy in like grade school basketball. And so one of our great listeners last night reached out to Jason Lezak and tagged me.
Oh, really?
Yes. And let me see the up to date if something has changed. Because this was pretty cool. I thought going in at least. Let's see. So one of our listeners says, at Jason Lezak, do you remember your Boys and Girls Club basketball coach, Jason Ross? ? He is a broadcaster / radio host. He put / program director, but
that is really funny.
For at Sactown 1140 radio in Sacramento, at Jason Ross 1140. I was like, oh, that's funny. Okay. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. Nothing yet.
Oh,
nothing yet. So we will see if Jason Lezak responds or if he goes, I don't think he's going to.
I think we need to reach out to him this summer for the Olympics.
Yeah.
To come on. Guest. Yeah. To come on and talk about swimming.
That'd be fun. How many of your coaches pre-high school do you remember?
I remember my basketball elementary school coach.
Okay.
But I remember my soccer coach because it was my mom's cousin.
Okay. But there's usually a caveat to it. Like, oh, it was my best friend's dad. It was, he also was our math teacher.
I remember my Little League baseball coach because he probably shouldn't have been coaching kids.
And may not be allowed to nowadays. I'm trying to think. I mean, I played just a ton of soccer and baseball growing up, then ultimately started getting into basketball. But if pushed and pressed, maybe I could remember, like, do you remember when you were on the Pirates in 7th grade, your coach? Not sure. Then if I saw like the picture, I remember the face for sure. Kind of pulled the name, that kind of thing. So I honestly don't know if Jason.
Here's how bad it was when I went to high school, and I've talked about this before. I went to a really tiny Christian high school, and we're a couple days in, and my mom goes, "Oh, you remember Danny, don't you?" And I'm like, "No, I just met him. I just started going to school here." She's like, "No, you guys were on the same Little League team." And I'm like, "You're on the same T-ball team." I'm like, "No, I wasn't." And she's like, "Yeah, you were." And I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like, she found pictures.
Oh, really? to support it.
Yeah. She's like, see, he's right here. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
And it's like, he didn't remember either.
That's pretty young too. And so, we'll see. That's actually a good idea this summer with the Summer Olympics. If we can reach out, if there'll be, I would not blame him at all if there's no memory. And what's funny is I don't know that I'll remember. That was kind of a random pull for me to remember when he was in the Olympics, or the first time I ever saw him, because, well, one, the name's a little bit unique, and probably part of the connection for me was remembering the name Jason.
Yeah, if he was like Jacob Smith.
Right, and then go, I don't know. I think I remember coaching a kid, but he was clearly our best basketball player. Like, my friend and I that were helping coaching this team, we kind of probably at one point were like, we're trying to build this team, make them great. We're like, you know what? Just get the ball to Lezak and get out of the way. Like, if we want to win, that's how we're going to win. He's by far the best player. And so, I think we even had plays like, hey, let's run it for Lezak. Run, like that's what we're saying. And I think we were freshmen, sophomore, juniors in high school. So it's like, we're helping out youth kids. Now we're just trying to win games.
That's also when you find out someone's like a world-renowned athlete. It's just like, oh, they're good at everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know he swam, any of that stuff. So we'll see. I'll have a report on that next week if there's anything there. Last night, Chris, you told me also before the or about the donut text that was coming that you went to or were going to see what Iron Claw?
Yeah,
Did you go see it?
I did.
On the Christopher Lloyd movie scale, which we've now learned that if it's really bad, you love it.
Yes.
If it's really good, you love it.
If it's really bad trying to be good, I love it.
Yeah. If it's really bad, that's what? Trying to be
if
good?
If it's bad trying to be bad, then I don't like it.
Okay.
Like what was the Sharknado movies?
Okay. Yeah. That was just, I mean, not a spoof, but kind of a spoof.
Yeah.
They're like, let's just
But then
see
there's
if this
also
hits.
like a little gray area of a movie that knows what it's supposed to be, like the movie Piranha. I love that movie because it's just like dumb, fun movie. The Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah. Did you see Anaconda?
I did.
Yeah. Same idea, I think.
Yeah.
Or if a movie's actually good, then you enjoy it. So
Yes.
where was this on your scale?
It is a very good movie that is supposed to be very good.
Okay. I heard Zac Efron was really good in it, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing is, I went in knowing I know the entire story. It's like
Okay.
one of the saddest stories in wrestling. And my friend that went with me, I said,
Did they know?
they don't know anything about
Okay.
wrestling. And I'm like, just to let you know, this is a very, very, very sad movie.
Okay. And did the friend enjoy it as much as you? So would a non-wrestling fan that doesn't know the story enjoy this
She
movie?
liked it.
Okay. Liked it.
Yes.
You closer to loved it? Or liked it?
I think, yeah, I liked it. Like, the thing is, like, too, is the thing that people were like, the big wrestling fans, and here's a problem with wrestling fans is they're never satisfied.
Yeah.
But the big thing is it's like, oh, the guy that plays Ric Flair is nothing like Ric Flair. But it's just like, if you have a person as Ric Flair acting like Ric Flair in this serious dramatic movie, like, that would be like, what is happening right now? What is this?
Right.
Like, it would completely like throw away like the movie. You would just be like so thrown back by it. So I understand that they didn't need Ric Flair to be just like Ric Flair.
Yeah. But all in all, whatever, 2 thumbs up. You would recommend
Yes.
people to go see it.
I cried for the last 10 minutes.
Really?
Like, hard.
That is unlike you. Would you say in movies?
I would say I cry more often than not.
Okay.
Not more often than I cry a certain amount, but I haven't cried that much since the movie Coco.
No, that's okay. That got me too. And Coco, I mean, I see it a lot, and it still gets me at times.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, Mama Coco. Yeah, that one's emotional. But you're a funny one though, because there could be something where it's portrayed to be sad, and you might laugh your head off.
Yes.
So,
But that's kind of like my family's weird response
Yeah.
to tragedy.
yeah. Interesting. Okay. I'm not that excited to see it, but would you say I should see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you're not a wrestling fan, you will enjoy it.
Okay.
I think you
Iron
would
Claw.
probably enjoy it more because there are certain things of the movie where I'm just like,
Yeah.
because like the guy that plays Kerry Von Erich, he's the guy from
Bear?
The Bear,
Yeah.
and he's really good in it. But he's like 5'6" and shorter than everyone in the movie, and Kerry Von Erich was like 6'4" and
Really?
like, yeah, like
So
240
they didn't
pounds of
try?
like pure muscle.
Okay. That's an odd casting. Any good previews? Which is always what I am intrigued by.
Yes, and a couple bad ones. I'm trying to. There's Clarence the Apostle,
Oh, yeah, I've seen the commercials for that.
and I'm just, oh man, this
Yeah.
is.
Cast looks pretty
There's
good.
another. There's a couple other ones, and I just don't remember.
Did you want to see? I saw this. I've seen this preview out for a while now. I go, oh, does Chris want to see this? It's the house with the pool, like Adult Swim
Oh.
or something, or
Night Swim or
Night
something
Swim.
like that. I was kind of intrigued by it, but a couple of the horror movie reviewers that I pay attention to, they're like,
Yeah, but again, is it because they're trying?
It's
Like,
like
you don't. That usually doesn't bother
no,
you.
it feel like the way they talk about it's like they kind of didn't know what to do with this.
Okay. All right. So Iron Claw, if you want some time this
Must see.
weekend, must see according to Christopher Lloyd. All right, our Friday show is just beginning again. Carmichael Dave off today and all of next week. He might check in with us next week from Huddersfield Town. Who knows where?
Manchester,
Manchester, maybe there too. That's Saturday
Sunday
of this week or next week?
this week.
This week.
I mean,
Well, Sunday's next week.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
in
yeah.
2 days. Was that me?
Huh?
Or someone
No,
else?
just like someone on
Okay.
just like
the
someone.
weekend is technically
Yeah.
Saturday. The
It's
start
like
of the week is Sunday. I'm like,
the John Mulaney bit where there's a kid at the sleepover. He says like, "Oh, remember what we saw a couple of hours ago? Don't you mean yesterday?"
yeah, exactly. That kid. All right, that was Lee's. No, it wasn't. It was not him at all. All right, we break. When we come
You can
back,
say that after he comes on.
exactly. That was not him. He was a cool kid, obviously grown up to be a true American hero. When we come back, leading off, that is next.
Malik Monk plays
Started
here.
left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
This is Jeff Scott. Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now, there are medicines that can treat COVID whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Back here on the show. Let's start with that first cut. Well, at the same time, we were both having some malfunctions. Here we go. Tonight, Kings, Raptors.
Banchero working against Barnes one more time. Gets the screen, launches the pass to Traveling Queen. He drives, he kicks, but Tuzzy from the corner misses the three. Keegan gets his 10th rebound for the double-double. 135, coming up on 1 minute to go in the second overtime. High drama at Golden One Center. Fox digs into the paint. He twists. He launches. He scores on the spin move. Sacramento on top. 137-135. The 24th lead change of the evening.
As entertaining of a game as you'll get the other night, couple of overtimes settled it between the Kings and the Orlando Magic. Tonight it's the Kings and the Toronto Raptors, beginning a weekend of home games for the Kings tonight and then Sunday. And then Sacramento hits the road. 12 of the next 14 will be road games for the Kings. A 5-game road trip, home for 2, then a 7-game road trip. So, look, the standings and this shuffle changes on a nightly basis, but we're starting to move quickly here through the season. Kings have, 49 games to go. Really, by the time Dave's back, we'll almost be, we'll be close to halfway through. So we're not early. There's still plenty of time left, but this goes quickly, and I think sometimes we lose sight of that. So tonight, Kings and Raptors. Toronto has a couple different looks here after making the Anunoby trade, and they've been good since that. So we'll see what impact RJ Barrett, Manuel Quickley have to the Toronto lineup that already has, really features Pascal Siakam and Scotty Barnes, who runs kind of a lot of stuff through him, or at least had been the case. So anxious for the matchup. We don't get to see Toronto a lot. They did come into Golden One last year, and I thought bothered the Kings as much as anybody has had of that group specifically last year. So, anxious to see how the Kings respond to this one. We played the highlight of Fox. Really want to see how he plays because he had, I think, one of his most off games, right? He wasn't, he didn't make shots. There were other things he did. He had assists. He made shots when they needed him late, but his 3-point streak came to an end. Just didn't have it, but that's okay because he had help, and that was a good thing that he had help. Otherwise, I think that would have ended up as a loss. So Kings and Raptors tonight. We'll talk more about that again at 8 o'clock. Brendan Nunez, our Sactown Sports Insider, will join us. All right, cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Obviously, you're gonna do whatever the coach says and go along with the program. Is there even a small part of you that's thinking, there's a football game going on this Sunday and I'm not playing in it?
Yeah, a little bit. Just the initial conversation that we had, it was like sort of, for me, I was like, man, this is all I know is to prepare for the next game and get ready. And especially when we went out to practice and I saw my teammates doing that, and everyone dressed out, ready to go and preparing for the Rams. And then I'm practicing, but obviously not getting to go for the game. So a little weird in that sense, but it's part of it. And obviously we're doing what's best for the team and the organization. So always got to remember that and have that in mind. But yeah, just the competitor in me. Obviously I want to play and, compete all the time. So, but that's the case in the situation that we're in.
It's funny how quickly, I was just saying earlier how fast the season moves along in sports, how fast the trajectory of individuals can change. And Brock Purdy is maybe the best case study. Obviously, we know he's drafted last, Mr. Irrelevant. But when you're drafted last, you're trying to make the football team. And there were a lot of people that thought a year ago that, look, they had announced it was going to be Trey Lance as the starter. They were keeping Jimmy G almost out of necessity because they just couldn't find a deal for him. And more people, I think, would have thought they would have kept Nate Sudfeld than Brock Purdy. They kept Brock Purdy. Okay. He did enough in camp to impress. So a little over a year ago, Brock Purdy was basically support for the team, the depth guy. Just some training camp, maybe some preseason action, and we'll see if he can develop into something. Now he's being protected in the final game of the year. It's like he's too valuable of an asset. It is not worth playing him. That's how fast things can change. He's in the MVP conversation. He's had an amazing year. He broke the quarterback record for the San Francisco 49ers. Amazing run for Brock Purdy. It makes 100% sense to not play him. You could have an argument to do it like the preseason where you play him for a series or two. There would be nothing worse than if he got hurt. I don't know. I mean, there'll be an argument if in 2 weeks when the 49ers play their home game against whoever in the playoffs, if he's rusty or out of sorts or has a bad game, did the Niners do it wrong? That's going to come out. That's fine. But I don't know how you prove that. Rust, is that the best thing or which case? I mean, protecting a guy I think makes a lot of sense. I don't know that they're totally going to lose rhythm, but that's what they're choosing to do. That's what the Rams are choosing to do. That's what a lot of teams are choosing to do this week, and we'll talk more about that coming up. Let's get to our final cut.
Cut number 3.
Lopez sets a screen for Connaughton. Penetrating, back out front, knocked away. Here come the Spurs. Wembanyama's with Trey Jones. Behind the back dribble, slam dunk and a foul. Wow. Victor Wembanyama with an acrobatic highlight play for this sellout crowd here at the Frost Bank Center.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's got it now. He takes it in and he plunges it through with a foul on Wembanyama. Says, take that, rookie.
It was actually a really good night of basketball. Only 2 games were in play. We're going to go around the NBA when we come back. But last night gave us that first look at 2 of the kind of freak athletes, and there's so many right now in the NBA. But the Greek freak, Giannis, has been like this for a long time. And it was the first matchup he went against Victor Wembanyama. And the Spurs just aren't a very good team, and there's a lot of hope for their future with Victor. But that matchup was fun to watch. Now, Vassell was a huge factor for the Spurs. Giannis was great, 40-something, 44, I think, in the game. But Wembanyama, the play late where Giannis was going into challenge and Wembanyama blocked him was awesome. I mean, you just go, man, these are 2 of the longest, leanest, not tough, but just bad guys in the league in a sense. Like, man, they could do just about anything. And that was fun to watch. I don't think we're going to have a ton of these matchups. They'll meet each other twice a year, but that was good. That was good basketball. Then it gave us the nightcap, which was the Warriors and the Nuggets, and the Warriors were playing about as well as they possibly could. And then I think, Chris, I saw it was their 4th or 5th time already this year they have blown a 17-point lead or more in a game.
Oh, that's a shame.
So, it sounds like you really feel badly for them. Really badly.
Couldn't happen to a better team.
Yeah. I feel your pain. I think a lot of Warrior fans are just so upset about that. Jokic saved the best for last. We will play that when we come back. We will look at the night in the NBA, those two games specifically. We'll preview the Kings as the show rolls along. We'll look at Week 18 in the National Football League, guests and more. That's all coming your way. When we come back, though, yes, the Warriors, the meltdown happened again to them. We'll discuss that next on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Jason Ross.
Call or text it.
No worse for the wear. Beat Shards, back cut. Clay Thompson caught it and scored. Beautiful bounce pass by Dario. And Clay with the hoop. It's 114-100.
Dario said, "Take that, Joker."
No early offense for the Warriors, but Curry steps out, fires a three off the dribble. Curry! Chris Paul, no worse for the wear. Beat Shards, back cut. Clay Thompson caught it and scored.
Sounds
Beautiful
familiar.
bounce pass by Dario. And Clay with the hoop. It's 114-100.
Dario said, "Take that, Joker."
We thought we'd play it twice. All right, 114-100 at that point. Back here on the show, Jason Ross, Christopher Ladd, no Carmichael Dave. He is out until, I think, a week from Tuesday. Yeah. Dave's he should be there by now, right? He had the flight last night. Yeah, he should have. Well, I don't know how long that was. 11-hour flight. Yeah, I think he's in. Anyway,
I did not want the Kings to win the championship.
So he will be out all of next week as well, and then back with us because we're off for MLK Day. We'll be back on Tuesday. I think that's the 16th with a full show. But we're here. We're rolling along. And last night in the NBA, we talked about it in leading off as far as the Spurs and the Bucks. That was a really good game. That was fun. That was entertaining. I was a little bit miffed that it was game one of the doubleheader. I'm like, yeah, I get it, putting the Spurs and the Wembanyama hype, but they have 5 wins. I mean, they're not a very good team. They're playing the Bucks. Maybe it'll be closer because it's the second night of a back-to-back for Milwaukee. They just had the bad loss again to Indiana. But instead, that was a really good game. That was fun. That was entertaining. Then came the second game, and actually that was going really well. I thought it was good basketball. It was really the classic mix of the Warriors just could not stop Jokic and Gordon in the paint while the Warriors were hitting just enough threes and getting in transition to bother the Nuggets. Then Golden State really started to cook, and Kuminga was good. For some reason, he didn't play in the fourth quarter. Podziemski was really good. Curry and Clay made enough threes, and they had built themselves a nice lead. And this is something that the Golden State Warriors had been doing and have been doing this year specifically. We know the Sacramento Kings' largest comeback this year was nearly the other day when they came back from 23 down to beat Atlanta. Well, they had a 24-point comeback against the Golden State Warriors. Last night, the Warriors had a 17-point lead, and I think the highest was maybe 14 or so that we just played there in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't close it. But they had the lead all the way until the end, until the very, very end, and then this happened.
3.6 seconds left. Denver looking for the game winner. Aaron Gordon looks in, throws it off over to Jokic. 2 seconds. He's across the timeline from 45 feet. Got it at the horn! Nikola Jokic buries the Golden State Warriors. For the second year in a row, Denver stuns the Warriors with a last-second three-point shot. And the Golden State Warriors can go ahead and take that L all the way out. Oh, man. What a shot by Joker. That was from the logo. Final on the big board, 130 to 127.
Yeah, Curry had a late turnover to set that up. Coach Malone had called a timeout, but they had already had a dribble to process up the floor, so they had to take it out in the backcourt. And then the Joker, I mean, it was as well defended as you could by Looney. You want to contest without fouling. I mean, there's some luck here. I mean, obviously, you just got to put it near the backboard. He banks it in 130 to 127. Joker had 34, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. And
not a triple-double.
I know, what a has-been.
And how many rebounds?
9. Come on. You're playing the little Warriors. You can get 20 rebounds on those guys. What I do love is there's such a feeling, I would say, on a night-to-night basis, Chris, of kind of just being cool about things in the league. Like, in one sense, it could be frustrating for fans. Like we just saw, there was, for some reason, a reaction to De'Aaron Fox when he's like, yeah, I'm not going to think another minute about this game. And so people are like, what? I'm taking this home. I'm so mad. I'm going to be mad about this Kings loss for 3 days. Well, that's fine. You can do that. But I think when you're an athlete and you play, you kind of have to move on. Same point being, it's like, oh, I scored 50. Yeah, it's cool. You know, like Keegan, when he scored 47, like that's one of the great things I've ever seen. And he'll remember. I'm not saying he's that cavalier, but he's like, yeah, you know, shots are falling. And yeah. Well, last night, what I enjoyed, Chris, this team just won a championship. They're one of the best teams in the league. Joker's won multiple MVPs. They loved that moment. Like they really, I was like, okay, that's the true authentic nature of sports. Like they really, to see the slow-mo, the shots of the team running off the bench and jumping and hugging him, I thought that was pretty cool.
And there's all this talk about like, oh, Jokic doesn't even like basketball.
Exactly.
He does it.
And he's just running off. And then he gets to the TNT crew. It's like, yeah, you know, then he cooled down, but it's like the true authentic self was like, yeah, that was awesome. That's a really cool moment. And you did it on the road. They probably would have done maybe a higher level at home with the fans going nuts too. But yeah, that's a guy that's about as calm as you get, that's done everything in the league, that really enjoyed that moment, which is what he should do, which was cool.
Yeah, and he's still just an insane stud.
He is.
It's crazy. If you were to look at him, if you were to line everybody up and you were to say someone like that doesn't watch, maybe casually watches basketball, but doesn't know anything about NBA, right? And say like,
which one's the best player?
Which one is the best player? And like, no one would pick him.
Yeah, I think what would draw you to, if you truly, maybe if you just didn't know at all, and if you saw everybody lined up, you're like, well, he's big.
He's the tallest one.
Yeah, and there are people taller, but like size. But I would also probably look at him and go, I see other people that are as tall or maybe taller that look leaner or more put together, like more fit looking. If that's, I mean, it's not like he's out of shape. That's not, it's like more cut. I go, yeah, I'll pick that guy ahead of him. Of course. Like he might be able to help, but his skill level is insane. I mean, it really is. And I think, was it Dave that was asking, or someone I was talking to, or it might've been Henry. It's like, could you imagine if the Joker like could really like get off the floor and jump and like was a really amazing athlete in that way? And I said, I mean, I couldn't, but also I think that's where he got all his skill, is because he doesn't do that.
He has to do everything.
Yeah.
That's the big thing that I've been big on White, because everyone's like, man, these Europeans come over and they're just good at everything. It's like, well, they're taught to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and unfortunately in the US, when you get on these AAU teams, like, okay, let's do what you're the best at.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go for college for a year and you've got these coaches like, why am I going to make him an all around good player when I just have him for 1 year? I'm just going to really concentrate on what he's good at, try to hide his flaws.
Yeah.
And then once you get in the NBA, like, okay, sink or swim. Let's see if you can figure this out.
Off you go. That they'll be the ones that can groom you, because I've got you for, if you're in college, max 30 games. So I need 25 wins. And if you're a great athlete and run, can get to the basket, go do it. Like, your defense is bad, but like,
we've got someone that's going to be here for 3 years that can help you out.
Exactly. So fun night of basketball last night. Also on the night, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris, found out that he was going to get, which I was surprised that hadn't happened already.
Yeah, me too.
Because hasn't he had his jersey retired? Well, he has as a Laker.
Yes.
And has he made Miami? Heat? I feel like he did. And what's funny is Shaq's now all of a sudden, I mean, this is his original start with the Orlando Magic, but I could not believe that he had not had his jersey retired yet. So he found out he's going to get his number 32 jersey retired for the Orlando Magic. That's where his career started. Really where he started to make his name. Certainly was in college at LSU, but do you see it as he retired as a Miami Heat?
Let's see.
Because I know he's a Laker for sure. And won titles there. He won one title with Miami. None in Orlando. Took them to the finals, though. I don't even know how many years he was in Orlando.
Was it like 4 or 5? Yes, he has had his number retired.
With Miami?
Yes.
That's pretty cool to have your jersey retired in 3 different places. Now, he also played for Phoenix. That won't happen, I don't think. Celtics, Cavs. But Shaq certainly deserves it in Orlando. Let me see. He played 1, 2,
They have
three,
it. This is
4,
their first retired number.
So it's been a little bit more sacred than anything.
Yeah, I would think like if he's getting it now, don't you think Penny should get one?
Probably. Yeah.
Do people remember how good Penny was?
No, not enough. Yeah, when you think of,
I remember having conversations as a kid, like, man, Grant Hill might be as good as Penny Hardaway.
Yeah. So if I asked you, like, who's the face of Orlando Magic basketball?
I would say Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq?
Because that's what I remember. Like, as a kid, I remember right when the Magic, like, started becoming something, he joined the team. He got drafted there. He was the guy breaking the baskets that was just insanely big.
I mean, the candidates have to be Shaq, probably Penny to some extent.
And then Dwight
Howard for sure. McGrady, maybe.
Probably going to go with JJ Redick.
Yeah, your guy. Yeah, I mean that organization has had some talent, but they kind
of Skiles
process through it.
I remember NBA Jam. I'd pick the Magic with Scott Skiles. Shaquille O'Neal.
He's heating up. That was the partnership.
Yeah, because like I would just dunk with Shaq, and then once people started like double teaming, I would
just run everywhere.
I'd kick it to Skiles
and make 33s. Oh, my goodness. Well, congratulations to Shaquille O'Neal getting his jersey retired ultimately with the Orlando Magic. All right, when we come back, we do have Week 18. There was no Thursday Night Football. Did you miss it? We didn't have it last night. I think we were all okay. We all survived. But the NFL will be busy. We have Saturday football, a couple of games Saturday tomorrow, and the rest of the slate on Sunday. But the question is Week 18 working out the way the NFL had always planned and intended it to? Maybe not as much this year. We'll explain that next.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can step, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can step, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the potty. Less is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's cushion and pink, so our chicks feel fine. So everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up to our chatters on the YouTube? Suggesting Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott. Yeah? How about Hito? Rashard Lewis? Matt Barnes? I think of people that played for Orlando.
Did we say Dwight?
You said.
Okay.
Yeah, Dwight Howard.
That kind of scared me.
Yeah. Which I think is an answer. I mean, honestly, it's probably the answer. Because, I mean, Shaq's such an overpowering name, but, I mean, Dwight Howard played, I think, basically all their records. Got them also to a finals. So, but congratulations to them. This week is week 18 of the National Football League. The 49ers will play the Rams in a game that, when the season started, I didn't know how much of an impact this game would have on the standings. Whitey reminded me the other night, he goes, I brought you up on the show today. I said, uh-oh, what'd I do? He goes,
I always get scared when I hear that.
I know. And I said, wait, what? He goes, well, I actually gave you credit. I said, oh, well, then please tell me. He said, well, I remember hearing your football predictions before the year, and you said you had the Rams making the playoffs, and I laughed. I thought, there's no way the Rams are making the playoffs. I said the Rams are going to make the playoffs? I said, yes, I said the Rams are going to make the playoffs. But the Rams are in, and they're resting their guys, or at least their quarterback. The Niners are in, 100% one seed. We get that. The Rams, are just, and they've always believed in this. They're the one team, I think, universally, Sean McVay, never plays anybody in the preseason. I mean, he's protecting his guys at all times. So they've already survived enough. They can't win the division. They're not going to really tweak their standing too much in the NFC. So he's like, nope, we'll rest our guys for Week 18. And Chris, all along, Week 18 was added as this is a jolt to the fans. This is let's give them one more regular season game. Everybody seems to hate the preseason, but owners aren't going to give up money unless you give us another game. So let's add another regular season game. I don't think anybody is really that mad about that. I'd rather see more regular season football. But I feel like this year's Week 18 kind of has backfired in the league in that sense. Look, people are still going to watch. And there are things to play for, yet people are still resting a lot of people this week.
Yeah, it also feels like a lot of seeds are already set.
They're either set or enough to where you can't change them enough to make it teams are feeling it's more valuable to rest than to risk. Okay, I could be 4 versus 5 or 5 versus 6. I don't care.
The idea of adding the extra playoff team was everyone's going to really want that number 1 seed.
And this year, as much as any, whether it's resting or injury, is the reminder of when we are in August and you're drafting your fantasy football team. You have the vision of drafting, fill in the quarterback, fill in the running back, the wide receiver. That guy's going to help me win a championship. Now, most leagues may be done, but this also isn't a Week 18 exclusive. We talked all year how many different quarterbacks are in. I'm going to go over the games and tell you the quarterbacks this week. So tomorrow, Steelers-Ravens. Pickett versus Lamar Jackson, right? We've got Mason Rudolph versus Tyler Huntley. Colts and Texans tomorrow. Close here. C.J. Stroud's going to start for Houston. They both need to win. And Gardner Minshew has started a lot of the year, but he wasn't the game 1 starter. It was the rookie Richardson for the Colts. So that's not that far off, but that's a little different.
So and now that you're saying this, it's a combination of people resting, but also a ton of quarterbacks getting hurt.
A ton of them this year. Because, Chris, the Jets-Patriot game means nothing. They're not resting guys. This should be Aaron Rodgers versus Mac Jones. It's Trevor Siemian versus Bailey Zappi. But, all right, that's okay. Browns and Bengals. Bengals they're eliminated, but they've been a really good team. Browns are in, and Cleveland is playing their 5th quarterback at starter. Jeff Driscoll, versus Jake Browning.
What if someone told you at the beginning of the season, hey, the Browns are going to get into the playoffs and they're going to be resting their quarterback.
And the one they're protecting is Joe Flacco. Wait, he's not on the team. He's not that you got your information wrong. Joe Flacco's not on the team. Yeah, but he's going to be on the team, and that's the guy they're protecting.
I'm picturing Back to the Future when he's telling about the game. Didn't you hear him, old man? He said the game's over.
Yeah, but Deshaun Watson. No. Oh, they also drafted the guy from UCLA, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That's who they're protecting? No, Joe Flacco. Wait, don't they also have that other guy that, started against the Niners, and I already forgot his name? My gosh, Jeff Driscoll versus Jake Browning. All right, Vikings-Lions. We got Jared Goff. And they actually don't have to play him, but sounds like he's going to start versus not Kirk Cousins, Nick Mullins. Jags and Titans. Jags need to win. Trevor Lawrence is hurt. He's going to try to play, but it might be C.J. Beathard versus either Malik Willis, Ryan Tannehill, or Will Levis. Falcons Saints. Falcons are going to go Taylor Heineke or Desmond Ridder. Derek Carr is scheduled to start, so that one's real. Bucks Panthers. Hey, we got one. Baker Mayfield versus Bryce Young. That one's scheduled as is. So is, of all things, the Packers and Bears. Justin Fields, Jordan Love. Oh, Broncos, Raiders. Jimmy G, Russell Wilson. Nope. Aiden O'Connell, Jared Stidham. Eagles, Giants. Jalen Hurts versus Tyrod Taylor. That was supposed to be Daniel Jones. Seahawks, Cardinals. Looks normal. Geno Smith versus Kyler Murray. Chiefs, Chargers. Probably the best quarterback matchup of the week. Mahomes versus Oh, I just blanked on his name for the Chargers. Herbert. Easton Stick versus Blaine Gabbert. Rams Niners. We're going to get Brock Purdy versus Matthew Stafford. Nope. Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold. Cowboys Washington, somewhat normal. Dak Prescott, Sam Howell. And then the game of the week, the one they moved to Sunday night, the one that does matter the most, is Josh Allen versus Tua Tagovailoa. What a weird week. The final week, the people that are resting. But as we talked to yesterday, Chris, on Sports Business with Kelly Brothers, we always like talking sports business. He told us of the 96.
I'm sorry, what was that segment?
Well, at 7:30 every Thursday, we talk sports business.
Good at business.
With Kelly Brothers. He told us 96 of the top 100 shows were sports, and almost, I can't remember, whatever percent of that was football. Football will still dominate this week. That Sunday night game is going to be great, Bills and Dolphins. And people will still watch these games with backup quarterbacks.
But I will say this. If you're a person and your significant other isn't really into sports, this would be the week to say, like, you know what? What do you want to do?
I do want to go to the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to go see that movie.
Aren't the games on? Yeah, but that's...
You know what? This is our weekend.
Yeah.
It's 2024. It's a new year. Knowing that you've got a lot of playoff weekends ahead, like with Saturday and Sunday football. You know what? How about this weekend we do all of that for next weekend? And, we'll wait till next weekend to watch some football.
Yeah.
This weekend.
This is the weekend to do that.
This is our weekend.
Why don't I take you to Iron Claw?
Yes, exactly.
Why don't we cry for an hour?
I heard Christopher Lott on the radio suggested we see that, and sounds like it's a touching movie.
His two suggestions so far has been Iron Claw and Godzilla -1. It's kind of out there, but he seems to know what he's talking about.
But you know what? Doubleheader. Let's watch them both.
Godzilla -1, also a sad movie. I might have teared up during that movie.
If someone were to do the double header, is there an order that they should watch those in?
Ooh.
Like Barbenheimer or whatever it was this summer. Last summer. Did you laugh at either movie at any time?
Yeah, like any good drama, there's going to be, especially like family drama, there's going to be like fun time type of things. And
dude, that looked good. So no particular order in that?
I don't, because it's like,
Have you done a doubleheader before?
I did Barbenheimer.
Oh, you did do that?
Yeah.
Now, is that the order you're supposed to be in?
I
think I would rather the other way. Personally, I'm
really?
Yeah. I'd rather close with the humor.
Really?
Me, yeah.
Because like my thinking was I wouldn't want to go see a comedy after just a complete downer.
Yeah, partly because I wasn't really that interested in Oppenheimer. So it's like, I'd rather get that out of the way. I know it's probably reverse order, but that's how I would have done it.
But a lot of people said it that way.
Watched it that way, Oppenheimer than Barbie?
Yeah.
Okay. But I think if I don't know how it became a pairing, but if it was, it probably most people did it the other way.
Well, there was like talk about, I think they're both Warner. I'm not sure, but there was talk about like Oppenheimer moving back because of Barbie.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Well, I think you came up with a good plan for those that are like sports junkies, sports fans that maybe during football don't spend enough time with the family or the significant other, whoever that may be in your life. This is the weekend. You're not, if you're a Niner fan, this game is irrelevant. Win, lose, tie, it really is irrelevant. You're going to be the 1 seed. I don't think you need to get some intel on Sam Darnold. You can wait for Monday when we give the breakdown of how well Darnold played or didn't play. Could he be a future part of the organization as a backup or whatever? This is Brock Purdy's team. They're going to be resting guys a lot. I just gave you the quarterback list. A lot of people are resting. So I think Chris is onto something. Make this the weekend. You make that bold choice.
I will say the one thing I am interested in this weekend is there are a few 8-8 teams that if they tie, they have a 500 record.
Wait, explain that. They'd be 8-8-1?
Yeah.
That's not a winning record?
No.
It's not a losing record?
No.
You're right.
Some people will say, oh, they lost more than they didn't win as many as they. What was his?
I didn't understand the reasoning.
His reasoning was they didn't win half their games.
Right. There was an uneven amount. Like generally 8-8 is 500, but 8-1 is also 500.
Yes. And because I say you won as many as you lost, which is a 500 record.
Right. Right.
But he said you didn't win as many as you.
Well, they put
you didn't win half your games.
They put a percentage to it. It doesn't go to 5.502 or 498 like it's 500.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now what's weird about that is because you'll be a half game ahead or behind someone because
which makes sense.
Yes, because the tie is given as a half. Right?
Correct.
You didn't win, you didn't lose, which by the way, I hate ties. You know this in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think it's silly. I don't think we should have them.
I love them.
I know you do. And
see, I because especially I'm the type of person, well, if you didn't do enough to win, you shouldn't get the win.
Right.
Just because you keep going and going and going because you need a win.
Result.
You need a result. That doesn't mean that you're better than that team.
Well, but why are we doing that in the playoffs then? Because we need a winner?
Because you need a winner.
Why don't we need a winner in the regular season?
Because it's a regular season game.
So it's different.
It doesn't mean as much as a playoff game.
The only place I think ties are acceptable is in the preseason. Those games don't matter. I think the regular season games should have a decision made on them. But I would say about, Chris, if I said the over-under, about 7 times a year, you send the red siren text to a group of tie alert, and it usually, I think you at least wait till overtime. You don't go like, it's going to overtime. It's usually about 6 minutes into overtime.
I wait until there's been like a
possession each in
overtime.
Because then we legitimately have the chance for overtime. And I'm like, sometimes.
What was the last game? Like it came down to the last.
If someone got it at the gun, right? Didn't they get a field goal at the is it expired? Might have been like the Titans or somebody, but because that one I thought was going to happen. I'm like, oh, we're going to get a tie. I don't think we had a tie this year. No, we didn't. And usually there's a couple of ties. I think it was at Pittsburgh a couple of years ago. Maybe had 2 of them in one year. Some of them were like 7-2 or whatever they were. Somebody did that. Anyhow, that's the weekend ahead in Week 18. We got more of that. A reminder coming up at 9. Greg Papa, the voice of the Niners at 9 will join us. We will get that preview of the Niners and the Rams. All right, when we come back, the 7 o'clock hour coming your way next. The first returns of the NBA All-Star voting is out, and every year fans get upset about this. We'll talk about it. I'll explain why you just this is what it is, but everybody has their vents about this. We'll explain that next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by E.B. Stone. E.B. Stone, for the life of your garden. The 49ers rang in 2024 with 2 wins. First, defeating Washington 27-10 on the road, Week 17. Then, they clinched the NFC thanks to Arizona's win over Philadelphia. San Francisco now heads into Week 18 with the best record in the conference to finish out the regular season against Los Angeles, before having a bye week to open the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Right now, American Energy offering $0 HVAC diagnostics. That's normally $99. For nothing. Let the American Energy team test your system, connections, and all the moving parts of your system to ensure it's functioning properly. Let me say that again. $0 to get your HVAC diagnostic-ted. That's not even a word. That's normally $100. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what American Energy does. That's what they've done since 1981. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since then. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Do it before January 31st or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the
donut, Chris. Thank you. Chris brought in donuts today.
Nothing better than Marie's Donuts.
Yes, I would agree. That's one of those things you said. Have you ever had? This was years ago. Have you ever had them? I think it was you were telling that to like me and Doug, maybe.
Yeah, Doug said he was a big donut person.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, how about we bring donuts in?" And then I'm like, "Oh,
I've got
had Marie's."
And you kept saying, "I'm like, oh, donuts are donuts. These are great.
They are not donuts.
Yeah, these are great. These are an experience." Carmichael Dave checking in on the chat, so he's obviously made it. Made his flight, landed all the way through. Unless he's
probably enjoying cold baked beans, undercooked bacon, mushrooms, tomato.
Yeah, Dave, don't take any pictures of the food anymore. Like a lot of times I like when people take pictures of their food, they post it. I'm like, that looks great. Then I'm like, ugh.
So when I went there, I was there for, I believe, 6 days, like Manchester and London. I did not have, I had fish and chips, but that was the only like English food I had.
That's it?
The food there is really good.
Yeah.
As long as it's not English food. Like the Chinese food, the Indian food, Pakistani food, Italian.
Well, remember the time, I think, you were here when Dave checked in from there. He was eating McDonald's.
Was it like Five Guys?
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. Anyway.
The weird thing in England, their KFC is 100 times better than ours. Like, I hate KFC, but they do something over there. It's like, oh, man, this is actually good.
The original recipe's a little different over there.
Apparently.
Yeah.
They might use real chicken.
They might. Not chicken parts. Welcome back in. Second hour of the show again coming up 1 hour from now. Brendan Nunez, our Sactown Sports Kings insider, one of our two with him and Frankie. He will join us at 9. The voice of the 49ers, Greg Papa, will close out the show with some Friday fun and games. Good first hour. We roll on into hour number 2. 3 for Madness coming up next. But yesterday was the release of the first of what I believe will be 3 releases of the All-Star voting for the NBA. I will credit the Kings. They have done a television campaign. Obviously, you guys that watch the Kings games see that couple of commercials with Fox and Sabonis, and they do a lot of stuff at the arena. And I personally think it's always going to be very, very difficult for the Kings to get an all-star starter. The starter is the one that receives the highest amount of votes amongst the fans. And whether it's market size, that's probably the primary thing. Number 2, I mean, they have a much better team and a team that's now getting another added nationally televised game next Friday against Philadelphia. Have plenty of exposure. They, for all the years when they were bad and then maybe even have a sneaky good player or some times where they're in a better run, we don't get any national attention. Well, they're getting enough, I think. Maybe not the full respect of what Kings fans would want, but it's the reality. And there's people that have done this in larger markets for a longer time that are more household names than Fox and Sabonis. Now, Fox and Sabonis, I think in the end are going to be all-stars. I don't think it's much to worry about, I think. But the reality is I think people every year get so caught up in the all-star starters, the voting. First off, there's a couple things with that. One, the fans do have a choice in that. So if you're mad about it, keep voting. And now you may not be able to influence the entirety of it, but at least you will have done your part. It's much like a regular election, except for this time you can vote as many times as you want. The front court, they used to debate it or decide it between center, forwards, and guards. So now the front court gets 3 players. If you're looking at the first returns in the West, I'm going to go from 10-1 and see if you hear any names from Sacramento. Karl Anthony Towns, Chet Holmgren, Victor Wembanyama, Alperen Şengün, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis. Nikola Jokic is 3rd. Kevin Durant is 2nd. LeBron James 1st. LeBron usually wins this. He's got more votes than everybody. No, Giannis has the most than LeBron. But in the West, it's LeBron. So if we take that and assume that's going to be the final, your starters would be LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic. I have absolutely zero problem with that. Jokic definitely should be there. LeBron's having an awesome year. Lakers aren't as much. And KD's missed some time, but feels like he should be an all-star to me. So when people, to me, where this is an issue is if someone gets in or takes a spot of someone that shouldn't be there, meaning maybe guys are hurt too much or miss too many games or they're just getting in on name. The guards from 10-1, Austin Reeves, that would be a problem. It's not going to happen. He's 10th. Klay Thompson, 9. De'Aaron Fox, there he is, 8. John Morant, Anthony Edwards, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and currently the top 2, which would be those voted in, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic. They're all stars. That's fine. The list is absolutely fine. Now, you may be upset that it's not Kings, but even if it's not Kings, the fans got it. They usually don't get it wrong. They usually vote for 5 all-stars. Maybe out of the 10 that get voted, maybe there's one that's a miss.
How many times did Allen Iverson get picked near the end of his career where it's just like, come on, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's popularity, and that's what the All-Star game is for. Then you're going to complain about who gets in, then complain about the All-Star game. It's a showcase. It's an exhibition. I think it's a wasted exercise honestly, to complain about it. Now, the reserves are really the part to complain. That's the people who it's not really voted on. This is a factor in it, but now you have coaches and other entities that are now looking at this and getting those that deserve it more as candidates to get in. So I think the beef for Kings fans, don't waste your energy now. If for some reason Fox and Sabonis aren't in, that's the time. They're not going to get voted in as all-stars. I still encourage you to vote. I'm not telling you not to. If Fox right now in the first returns has 210,000 votes, that's awesome. But number 2, Steph Curry's at 1.3 million, almost 1.4. He's 1.2 million behind. I just don't see that happening. Best of luck.
But if we get everyone in Sacramento to vote,
yes,
especially today where votes count 3 times.
Hey, Chris, you're on it today.
Would you like to? I just voted.
You did?
Yeah. It's so easy. Just go to Kings. Like, even if you go to the Kings website, they say, here, vote for the Kings. And it already lists the Kings as your team.
It fills the ballot?
It fills the ballot for you.
So who else did you vote for then if you did Kings?
So what it does is it basically puts the starters. So it put Fox, Demonis, Herter, but he's kind of not a starter anymore. Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray. But I mean, come on, guys.
Come on.
Barnes and Herter haven't had the best of seasons, but I still need to put some Kings on there. So my starting 5 is, who would you guess?
Your starting 5?
Yes.
Well, you put Fox and Sabonis in.
Of course.
I think you put Malik Monk in.
I did.
Okay. Knowing you, I think you put Juan Toscano Anderson in.
Hey.
And your 5th, you put... You might have did Keegan.
Of course I put Keegan.
So I got your 5. All right.
And then with the East, just put whoever. I put my favorite Eastern Conference player in there.
Who's that?
I think you and my favorite Eastern Conference player.
Oh, Jaime
Jaquez Jr., who's been killing it for Miami.
He actually has been.
Yes.
Okay. Who else rounds out your Eastern 5?
Oh, that's it.
That's the only one you put in? You voted for one just out of choice.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, I only need to vote for one. So, yeah, it's a funny thing. Like, I saw several people on social media, like, the All-Star game, it's a sham. Like, why the Kings? Again, I think Fox and Sabonis are going to get there. So that's what you want. They're not voted in as starters. And I'm trying to remember if when Weber or Peja or Vlade or Brad, I don't think maybe Webb made it as an all-star starter as voted in. But, that's also when Duncan and Nowitzki and Garnett, like he was in a tough field of forwards. He would make it, but did he get voted in? Mitch might have voted in. I'm trying to think. But it's been tough for a Sacramento King to get voted in as an all-star starter. DeMarcus would make it, not voted in. Yeah, it's tough. But I think it's an exercise that Kings fans get a little too worked up for me, in my opinion. Again, get upset if Fox and Sabonis don't make the all-star squad, but I don't think you're going to have to.
When Mitch won the MVP...
I don't know if he was voted in or not, but yeah, he won it in Phoenix.
I'm trying to remember the teams.
Like at that time, everyone always was saying like he's, the next best 2 guard next to
Jordan.
I mean, to Michael Jordan. I was going to say to Mitch Richmond. Yeah, to Michael Jordan. So he might have been the one in the West.
I'm trying to remember where it set was Magic the year before or the year after.
I think the year. Ooh. No, I think the year before.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm
not certain. Yeah. Anyway, the exercise will go on. The reserves will be named once the starters think are about a couple weeks away, and then the reserves later for the All-Star game. All right, when we come back, 3 questions, 3 answers. It's all presented to you by our friends at Fire Wings. We've got 3 for Madness. That's coming your way next on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
I was starting to do my voting, so I'll have to finish that here, and I didn't have enough time for the NBA All-Star votes. For some Kings, let's get them there if we can. All right, next up, it is that time.
To answer the question, there have been 2 Sacramento Kings voted in.
Oh, okay. Mitch
in 2001. I mean, not in Weber in 2001, and Mitch in
94, maybe 95 or 93. And Mitch was like a 6 or 7 time All-Star. So, okay. That's cool. So it can happen. I just think right now it's a tough spot. As long as like Curry, LeBron, Luka around, Durant. I mean, West is loaded with big time names. And I mean, think about like the legends. I was doing that really quickly here in the West. Like, Harden's always been an all-star. Kyrie, those guys are 4th and 5th. Paul George and Kawhi, AD usually in there 4th, 5th, and 6th in the front court. Yeah, that's gonna be tough for good old Domantas Sabonis. All right, 3 questions, 3 answers, 3 for Madness. Brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. Chris, question number 1.
The Kings had another game added to the national TV schedule next Friday at Philadelphia. When the Kings are on nationally, do you watch that or the local broadcast?
You know what? The real answer is you always listen to Sactown Sports 1140.
That's the correct answer.
Ding. I'm not in that position, so I might have to ask you or others out there, kind of the proverbial you, those on the text line, those of our YouTubers. What do you guys do? I would say I would probably do this, Chris. I would definitely check in on the national TV because I am curious what people say nationally. I don't get hung up too much in it, but I will. What is the thought? What do they think of the Kings? What do they think of Fox? What do they think of Sabonis? What do they think of Keegan? What do they think of this offense? What do they think of Mike Brown? Whatever. I kind of want to gauge that temperature. I was like, but yeah, I don't mind either one. So I probably would check in on the national.
What I do is I watch the local pregame. Mm-hmm. No, I watch the national pregame. I watch the first half national. Mm-hmm. Then I'll go to the local halftime. And then I'll go back to national until they annoy me.
Yeah. Which it depends on who it is.
Okay, you guys obviously haven't paid attention to any of this.
Yeah. I'm glad they're on again more next Friday. Again, national TV. That game has been moved. I mean, it was at 4. Now it's to be 4:30, so not a big difference for a lot of people.
I think what really helps is Mark Jones, if he gets like the national call, because he knows the team.
Right.
Like, and I love his I've been telling you.
Yeah, exactly. That is kind of weird when he does a Kings game nationally as well. Yeah, you're right. All right, question 2.
Question 2.
Shaquille O'Neal is getting his number 32 jersey retired in Orlando. Speaking of jerseys retired, we'll have the first jersey retirement at G1C.
That's right. We haven't had one there. Personally, I'd honestly like to see Tisha Penicheiro get a jersey retired.
That would be cool.
I think the Monarchs are sadly forgotten about, not by everybody, but I just think they were so great here for so long. And Tisha Penicheiro is one of the greatest basketball players I've ever seen, honestly. And so Yolanda Griffith got her love, as she should have, but I think Tisha should too.
I think what's really sad too is the younger generation, especially with the WNBA doing so well. Mm-hmm. Like if we had that Monarchs team for just some reason like transported to now,
Yeah, I know.
they would be huge in the city.
They really would. It was great summer entertainment. I loved working with them. Great people that I think the world of. So I'd like to see that. Honestly, after that, I mean, I think the debate, Chris, would be Cousins, and I don't know that that's going to happen. And then really Fox is the one trending for it, so it might be a while.
I think it would be Fox.
Yeah. Now there are arguments for other, like could they do I don't know that it's a jersey, but like some sort of homage to that 02, 03, 01 kind of group like that. But I don't know what you do with that. Like they shouldn't have all their jerseys retired, but like Adelman should have something in the Raptors for sure. But we don't have a Ring of Honor or something like that.
G-Man should have something.
I agree with that 100%. 100%. Yeah, but I don't, jerseys or Ring of Honor or some sort of acknowledgement needs to happen for some of those guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we're trying to think of. Yeah, they should just have like the starters of the Western Conference Final. Not even a starter, and Bobby Jackson.
Exactly. That group. It just feels like that group needs. We give them a lot of love. Yes, they didn't win a championship, but that group was really significant to the city, I think, and a lot of people know that. All right, question 3.
Question 3.
Back to Shaq in Orlando. After his rookie year, the Magic drafted first again and took Chris Webber.
Yeah.
They traded C. Webb for Penny Hardaway. What if Orlando kept Webb? How would a front court of Shaq and C. Webb work?
Yeah, that had to cross their mind. Like they had to think of all options. And I think right away when they got it, everyone was like, they're going to move him. And they did. So it never happened. I wonder about this now, Chris, the way the NBA is now. How would Shaq fit? And I guess logically, even when you're that good, that gifted, that talented, that big, I guess they would be kind of the one team that plays a true low post. Like Shaq's not shooting threes, is he?
No.
Okay. But every other big is kind of either
has to.
Running the floor, stretching the floor, still posting up, but also has the skills to bring, like Shaq was basically post up, get out of the way. And C. Webb had some skills all over the court, but they were in that time where you were still kind of playing a center and a power forward on the block or high post and low post. So I think they could have worked, but that's a good what if, like Shaq and C. Webb. I don't know if one career takes off more than the other. I don't know if Orlando has this legacy run with those two, or if that just was the right way to do it from the get-go.
I'm also trying to think of what Shaq would be like now. I think the thing that would hurt him, I don't think he could be as big as he was because you can't go up and door. Yeah, it's so fast. The funny thing that Deuce told me, this is a while back, and he was talking, he just said like, hey, remember how everyone talked about how quick the Kings were in 01-02, how fast they were? He's like, they would be ranked 30th in pace.
Yeah, exactly. And this was, I think, like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even gotten faster now.
Right.
So, like, you can't go up and down with that much weight on your skeleton.
Right. And just like we said the other day here on this show, that the Kings last year, historically great offense, was number 1 of all time. That is already, like, I think 7th this year. Like there's 6 teams ahead of that now. And I want to say the one that stunned me was the one that wasn't, is like 8th, is this year's Knicks. I feel like the Knicks are a slog of a team. And that's just the way the league, it's just changing, and it's being refereed differently, and points are up. The lowest points allowed, I think, is Minnesota at 108. I mean, that's not a juggernaut. There used to be teams, in the 90s all the time.
But also on top of that, he couldn't guard Shaq back then.
Right.
Now.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like it'd just be 2 points every time.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting what if. What would those two have looked like, Shaq and C. Webb, if they really stuck with it, committed to it, made that their plan? Obviously, they didn't. I don't blame them for not. And Penny Hardaway worked out pretty well. It's too bad he had some injuries as well. All right, that is 3 for Madness, brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. When we come back, let's look at the Kings, kind of the state of the Kings. They play tonight. We know that. We'll preview that a little bit later. Brendan Nunez will join us, our Sactown Sports Kings Insider, coming up at 8. But what's going well what needs work, kind of a state of the Kings, where they are, what to expect going forward. We'll do all that and more when we come back here on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
All right, show rolling on. Jason Ross here, Chris Verlaud, Carmichael Dave off today and all through next week. Though he's in the chat, checking in with some of you there on the YouTube chat. You can text us as well at 916-339-1140. We were talking about voting for the All-Star game. Someone said, do votes count extra on January 6th? I think it's today. What about all the people that wanted to see Pistons versus Rockets? I'm not sure what that was referencing to. Something we were talking about earlier, but
guessing the Kings getting the national.
Oh, is that the game that it was supposed to be? Oh, okay. Well, I think those people will be just okay. They'll be just fine. I didn't realize that's the game that got bumped. Yeah, thank you for that. All right, speaking of the Kings, let's kind of do a state of the Sacramento Kings. The Kings, I know this season, as Dave and I have tried to describe, I'm sure Styles and Watkins, the Drive guys have all discussed. It has been up and down. I think that's been clear, the up and down nature of it. And when you take kind of a look at the ride at 20 wins and 13 losses, they are ahead of last year's pace. And I think, we all are guilty of maybe raising the expectations, and I don't think that's a bad thing per se. And I like to do it in where I go by really the organization's expectations. I think you and me and anyone listening out there can have our own and think this team should win the championship, or they're a lottery team somewhere in between. But I'm going to go on the people that live this, that do this, that have selected the team, that coach this team, that play on this team. And they think, in their words, they want to go from good to great. And they haven't done that to me. They're good. They're good. They're frustrating this year. But why are they frustrating? And I'm really trying to separate the frustration from the expectations versus how they're playing. And they may be too similar. Maybe there's some nuance and gray area there that I'm trying to find here. But because, as much as Dave and I had fun the other day with kind of the excuse bingo card of, hey, these things happen, but they do. But do all of these things happen that's happening with this team? So, like, what I would say is, by record, their 2 worst losses this year, just record, there could be more painful losses in here, are what we just saw recently. Losing to Portland, who even now, if we upgrade their record to 9-24, and losing to really an undermanned Charlotte team, an 8-24. Well, if you're a playoff team, and where are the Kings right now? 5th. Well, that means there's only 4 teams better than you, and I don't think you can just do it on record, because then if you're doing that, then the Kings should beat everybody below them. Everyone. Well, it doesn't quite work that way, but I'm not giving them any excuse for losing to Portland and losing to Charlotte. Those are bad losses. So those make you frustrated. I'm bothered by those, but I think when you kind of look at, here's the best argument for that. The 73-win Golden State Warriors, the record-setting team, they were better than everybody. So anybody they lose to, it's like, oh, you can't lose to that team. Well, if they lost 9 times, you're going to lose to somebody, and probably in that run, somebody was considerably worse than them. So it does happen in that way. But to me, it's a lot of times how you lose. The Portland game, they didn't have a chance to win. That was really depressing. The Charlotte game they just had the other day, I thought was one of the worst out of sorts performance, low IQ, like just everything. Awful, 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 awful. They were just bad all the way through. To me, the problem with this year's squad, the frustration has been more of the lack of competitiveness in too many games. Again, I think those things happen, and maybe it's on one hand you count it. At the end of the year, you play 82, you go, there's about 4 games that they just had no chance. Maybe you give them another 4, like you just had the clunkers that I just talked about. There's 8 to 10, and then you want to lose. You're going to lose 15 to 20 more games, but is it all right? They had their chances, came down to the end. Oh, someone got you at the buzzer. Sabonis fouled out, and Fox was hurt late, and you just kind of didn't have enough at the end. The losses really haven't been like that. That part has been the frustrating part. But where seasons can change, and when we do the comps, so we go back to last year at this point, where the Sacramento Kings, as we mentioned right now, through 33 games, are 20-13. So if we go to last year through 33 games, they just beat Denver. And this is exactly where they were last year. This was the pivot point of the entire season, was right now last year. The Kings on game 31, lost to Washington, which was not a good team, 125-111 at home. 2 games before that, they lost at home to the Charlotte Hornets, who had lost 8 in a row at that time, was playing the second night of a back-to-back after being in Denver the night before. Sound familiar? They lost to them. But that Washington game that they lost at home, which everyone's like, okay, get back on track, win this game. Domantas Sabonis got hurt, broken thumb. He missed the next game.
Season's over.
Yeah, he missed the next game against the Denver Nuggets. And we just weren't sure. 6 to 8 weeks. Is he going to have surgery? Wait, he's what? He's going to play. He's going to try to play. He's going to tape his thumb up. They played Denver in a home and home. They'd already lost to him in the game he missed. In game 33, they ended up winning 127-126 over the eventual champion Denver Nuggets to go 18-15. So at that point a year ago, this point, Sabonis has a broken thumb. They're 18-15. And we're excited because we hadn't seen a team play like this. So they're a couple of games ahead of that. They are, knock on wood, healthier than that a year ago. And even if we go a few games later, 38 games in, the Kings were 20-18. So then they started to cook. From that point on, they played a lot better basketball. And I think in the end, we'll feel, assuming, it's an assumption, that they can make the playoffs. It's how you're playing at the end. What's the roster look like? What's the health look like? What do they do at the trade deadline? So I think, personally, what they have done in the first 33 games, has given, to me, enough information to Monty McNair, to Wes Wilcox, to the decision makers, to Mike Brown, to the coaching staff, to the players themselves, that this roster is good. It's not good enough. So, what do you do? Here's, to me, on the state of the Kings, where the puzzle really lies. We had some people in here, some other staff members, that we were talking about trades and how do you make them better. And I'm trying to do this as logically as possible. And I know we all want to do, we'll trade these 5 guys.
Trade Barnes,
yeah,
Herter,
yeah,
Davion Mitchell,
yes,
couple picks,
yes,
Kevin Durant.
What's wrong with that, Chris? Who says no? Phoenix. Phoenix does. And people always go, would you do that? I would. Yes, I would trade those for Kevin Durant. Phoenix would not. I don't believe so. Now, if you get that deal, more power to you. But let's just use your example you just said, Chris. Barnes, Herter, Davion, and picks to get, you're probably thinking, if that's your baseline, you're probably in your mind thinking, we're going to get a heck of a player. Strip that down to what you're offering. Davion, who is a bench player, if I'm trying to trade you, I'm going to tell you all the great things he does. He had kind of slipped out of the rotation, and I would say has underperformed this year. Kevin Herter is now no longer starting, is not having the same kind of year as he did last year. And Harrison Barnes, I think, is frustrating more Kings fans than anybody I know of in a long time. He's good. He's a solid pro. He's solid. That's really the meat of what you're trading a team. It's not as appealing as what Kings fans think that is.
Also the picks. Like, people go crazy about that,
yeah.
But the Kings are good.
Yeah, and if you're getting,
good.
In your example, if you get Kevin Durant, let's just do this example. The Kings, I think, would at worst stay 5th. But let's even keep them 5th. That'll probably be picking 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th maybe. It's not that appealing of a first-round pick. Now, people love first-round picks, but they generally like first-round picks from lottery teams.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's just like, I think that if they get this player, they might have 1 or 2 good seasons, but they're going to drop off.
Yeah, and that's the hope. Like, if you got an older player like Durant, like, okay, we'll give him, but we want that first-round pick in 2029. All right, well, that's so far removed. I don't know what that'll turn out to be. Who knows? But I think if the Kings want that great player, now we're talking about, again, I'm trying to do this from another general manager's perspective, not being out of whack when people go, you can't trade Keegan. That's who I want. Well, you can't. That's who I want. You want Durant or player X? I want Keegan Murray. Well, that's off the table. Well, you're not getting player X. I think the truest assets this team has is Keegan. Honestly, it's Malik Monk, and we talked a little bit about that yesterday with Sam Amick. Malik is a real puzzle for this team because I love him, they love him, I believe, and he's going to be up for free agency. If you're trying to acquire another significant player to help now and in the future, it might compromise Malik Monk's future here. So you have to think about that too. And like, you could do a move that adds to this team that doesn't compromise Malik's future, and you go, yeah, one of our offseason goals is to pay Malik. And then you're kind of going forward with Malik, DeMontis, Fox, Murray, and whatever this new kind of, filler is. That might be good. Might be good enough. I don't know the answer to that. But right now, if we all kind of agree that they're good and probably missing something, I think the answer is really difficult to get to. Because I think to get another quote-unquote player at the Fox Sabonis level, Siakam, if people wanted Levine, if people wanted DeRozan, if people wanted Anunoby, I don't know, whatever player you're kind of thinking, I think it might cost you Malik Monk or Keegan Murray. Now, if you can get away with it, if it's filler, and I don't, that's too mean of a word to say, but if it's Davion, if it's Barnes, if it's Herter and picks, awesome. I personally would be stunned when people say, who says no? I think the other team says no more times than not. So I think their assets are Keegan Murray, well, certainly Fox and Sabonis. I don't think they want to move them. But it's Keegan. It's Malik Monk as an expiring. I wish the Kings had if Barnes was expiring, sadly enough, he's more valuable. He's not. He just re-signed him. Herter's not expiring. They've got contracts that are lined up pretty well. It's not totally out of whack, but I think their picks are their best assets combined with Malik Monk. and Keegan Murray. And Chris, those guys, I don't know that people want to move. And that's the puzzle they're in to me.
Yeah, I think the one thing I remember is like, oh, if Herter has like another good year, he could be a valuable trade piece
for sure
because he has a really good contract. Unfortunately,
he's not having a good year,
and that contract doesn't look that good because of it.
Yeah, it's not hideous. I don't think that anything is awful contract wise, but they're also not the players when you're trying to add more and you're like, hey, let's trade this player. They don't make that much, and so now you're not able to get the big price tag player that you're looking for. So the Kings are they're not in a terrible position, but they're in a tricky one that I know they like their core. There's something about consistency and continuity, and they've kept that for the most part. But you also can't just keep it and go, oh, we hope it gets better. At times it has this year, and at times, as we just went through, it's been as confounding and puzzling as I can remember. I mean, not only the two disappointing losses they just had, but back to getting blown out, not having a chance to win too many times. With all that being said, here they are, the 5th seed at 20-13. They are a weird puzzle right now. It's not crystal clear. I think they have multiple directions to go, and it's kind of falling in line to what I thought before the season started. I said, I think if everything goes right, they could be number one. Everything hasn't gone right. If everything doesn't go right, I think they could be 12th and out of the postseason. Well, everything hasn't gone wrong. Here they are right in between that at the 5 seed with probably more things going right than wrong, but it's teetering, and they either need to get in a groove here with the group they have or a tweak, whether that's a big move or a smaller one, but I think something needs to take place. All right, when we come back, what's at stake in Week 18 of the NFL? The game of the week, certainly Bills and Dolphins, but the Niners do play. What's at stake for some of these other teams? All those guys resting. We'll discuss the weekend ahead in the NFL. That is next.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Discover Roseville's hidden gem, Timbers at the Lodge, nestled in the Timber Creek Golf Course. Savor a culinary journey where every bite tells a story. We serve breakfast 7 days a week with happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m., where you can relax on the outdoor patio next to our newly renovated and expanded putting green. Thursdays always feature our $28 prime rib dinner. Reservations encouraged. Learn more at timbersatTheLodge.com. We look forward to welcoming you to Timbers at the Lodge, where exceptional food meets great times.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Jason Ross, Chris Verlad back here. Carmichael Dave, he's been in and out of the chat on YouTube. We appreciate all of you, honestly, that do that on a daily basis. Got a lot of you in there today. Hit that thumbs up while you're there. That does us a great favor. We appreciate you. You guys have your own show within the show. Text line 916-339-1140. Those of you that you don't, and a lot of you don't even comment and just listen. We appreciate that. On the text line, I am concerned that they continue to lose to this type of team. See the losses to the same teams like the Clippers, the Pelicans, etc. That's a concern, fair concern. Like a couple of check marks for this year, losses to the same team, the large deficit losses, and then until last game, the lack of competitiveness in the second night of a back-to-back. At least they got a win on the second night of a back-to-back. I wouldn't say they fully solved that, but it's good to see that taken care of. Now, this is kind of looking at this team more in a negative way that we were doing there in that segment in some sense, but you have to appreciate the Minnesota win in Minnesota, twice versus OKC, beating Denver. I mean, they've beaten some good teams. I wonder, this is almost like a generic question I would ask out there, and if you want to, on the YouTube or on the text line, say, would you accept this? So if we kept the Kings record at exactly what it is, at 20-13, and I was able to tell you, I'm going to give you back, I'm going to take the Blazers game as a win and the Hornets game as a win, but they still have 20. But, Chris, you have to give back one of the OKC games and the Denver game.
Or what if the Denver game and the Minnesota game?
Sure. So Denver and Minnesota, you now did not defeat. But now you would technically, on paper, I would say probably defeated everybody you're supposed to. Maybe there could be some arguments, but there's no like really bad record loss. But you still have those blowouts in there. But now you haven't beaten the high ceiling teams.
See, I would.
But the record's the same.
I wouldn't be as frustrated if that makes sense.
Yes. Now, I guess it would be important. There's probably some nuance there. What games do we give back? Denver and
Minnesota.
Now, did you lose by 30 in each of those?
I would say like you lost
15, 10, had a chance, but you lose by 10.
No, I would even say like you lost what you lost to the Portland and let's say,
okay,
like
Charlotte?
that game. Yeah.
So you played like you did in those games
Yes.
to those teams, but you beat Charlotte and Portland. It doesn't matter if you crushed them or beat them by one, you beat them. You're happier?
I'm not happier, but I'm not as frustrated, if that makes sense.
Okay. So the record, then are we going, well, I mean, are we happier, but not happier? Now we're going, well, you're 2 games ahead of last year. But it feels like they still are 2 games ahead of last year, but people are, I don't know if they're more bothered by, I guess that's what I'm asking. You're more bothered by those 2 losses, or I'm more bothered. I mean, those bother me, but I'm probably bothered that they've been lack of competitive in too many games.
Yeah. Like even those teams, if it was just like with the Magic the other night, if the Blazers just went off and they can't miss, and it seems like no matter what you do, and then let's say on the other side, you're missing your free throws, and you're just not having the better night. It's like, okay, that just happens.
Yeah. Like I felt the Blazers were pretty good for the Blazers. Like they had a good, I didn't think Charlotte was good. Like it wasn't like Charlotte came in. Oh man, Charlotte was bad. Charlotte wanted the Kings to win.
That was such a frustrating game.
Yeah,
because it felt like the entire time the Kings are like, we've got this.
I thought it was up until like 30 seconds left. I'm like, they're still going to win. I was mad because I thought they were going to win, and I was
just like,
mad.
Just put them away.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know who was really upset?
Who?
Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was furious.
Yeah, because I mean, I felt that. I felt that from a lot of people. Like, I was really thinking about the show the next morning. Like, yeah, they won. I'm mad about this win. It's a win. Put it in the win column. And instead, it was just a mad loss and a bad one. So, anyway, appreciate that coming in on the text line. Those of you on the YouTube, we appreciate that as well. All right, I'm going to take a picture of this and reference this on Monday, Chris, because I have a feeling it will change, and whether or not it changes drastically, we'll find out. NFL Week 18. Here's what, as I say, if the playoffs started today, here's what it would be as it stands today. AFC, 7 seed would be the Indianapolis Colts taking on the 2 seed Miami Dolphins. That has a really good chance of changing because the Dolphins play the Bills. The 6 seed would be the Bills at the number 3 Chiefs. Oof. The 5 seed Cleveland Browns at the 4 seed Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville certainly hasn't won the division yet. And the one thing that is certain, the wild card round bye will be the 1 seed Baltimore Ravens. In the NFC, the 7 seed as we speak right now would be the Green Bay Packers at the 2 seed Dallas Cowboys. The 6 seed, the Los Angeles Rams at the number 3 seed Detroit Lions. The number 5 seed Philadelphia Eagles at the number 4 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who also have not won their division. And the one thing that is locked and loaded and secure, the wild card round bye belongs to the number 1 seed San Francisco 49ers. So earlier we went through just the amount of quarterbacks that are not starting that you would expect to start in Week 18. And it's going to impact some of these games. Week 18 playoff clinching scenarios in the AFC. You still have teams that can clinch a division between Houston, Indianapolis, and Jacksonville. Like, to me, it speaks to a division that's not great, but I think there's some appeal to have 3 of your 4 teams playing for a division title in the last week. Some appeal. Or are they just bad teams to you?
Yeah.
Bad teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like before we talked about with the quarterback injuries, like, oh, you can't count Trevor Lawrence out. Well, he might not be playing.
Yeah. Right. Now another team that
ironically, like the Bills shouldn't be in it because they were just so bad early on in the season and they just caught up to everybody because I think everyone just.
And now people are fearing Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, they're 10-6, but like, did we forget their warts and their flaws? And, do we have to have the Josh Allen conversation?
Yes.
And then now it's like, nobody wants to play Buffalo. They're the favorite to win the AFC. Why? What happened? My goodness.
I feel like the AFC, it's like, I feel like this in both. It feels like the Niners and the Ravens against everybody else.
Yeah, and because it's football, they easily can lose. That's just the way it works.
Both have also lost to bad teams.
They have, and that's where you try to scratch your head and go, wait, I don't see that many flaws in this team, and then you see them all of a sudden on a Sunday. Here's who could still make it in the AFC. Houston, we know that. Indianapolis and Jacksonville all can still win their division. Buffalo, Buffalo's not in for certain. They can win the AFC East with a title. How they can clinch a playoff berth, a Buffalo tie gets them in, or a Pittsburgh loss or tie, Jacksonville loss or tie, or Houston, Indianapolis tie. So Buffalo, again, is like the most dangerous team in the AFC, yet they're not in as of now. Pittsburgh has a unique one, Chris. They're 9-7, which again, Mike Tomlin did it, got that winning record for sure. Here's how the Steelers can clinch a playoff berth. Pittsburgh win, which they play tomorrow. They're on Saturday. And all of these pretty much revolve Pittsburgh winning or tying. Pittsburgh win plus a Buffalo loss, or Pittsburgh win plus Jacksonville loss or tie. Pittsburgh win plus Houston or Indianapolis tie. Pittsburgh tie plus Jacksonville loss plus Houston, Indianapolis doesn't end in a tie. Or a Jacksonville loss plus Denver win. How's Denver in this? Plus Houston, Indianapolis doesn't end in a tie. Is that a typo? Denver?
I would absolutely love Denver to make the playoffs.
Well, they can't, but they can't. But I don't know why they must. Their game must impact. Who's Denver playing again? It obviously has to impact this. Which is crazy.
I'm trying to think of like what the most chaos would be.
Well, I remember last year Pittsburgh in the last week. I think there was X amount of teams that could make it in the AFC, and Pittsburgh it was something like a 2% chance, and they needed like 8 scenarios, and 6 of them or 7 of them happened. They almost had it. Almost made it. So they have the wildest of the AFC. Oh man, ties would just make this just an absolute mess. The NFC, the Cowboys are in, but it's just are they going to win the NFC East? Obviously, they can do that with a win or a tie plus a Philly tie or a Philly loss. We got to decide that NFC South as well. Tampa, Atlanta, and New Orleans. It's always weird to see a team like Atlanta. What's Atlanta's situation? Atlanta will clinch the NFC South title with a win plus a Tampa Bay loss. And going into Sunday, Atlanta is 7-9. That is rough. Tampa's 8-8. The Saints are 8-8. You got the Eagles at 11-5. They're in. They're just trying to secure either the division or they're standing. Now, the rest that can still get in, Seattle, Green Bay, and Minnesota. Green Bay's kind of got the Pittsburgh setup here. Green Bay win gets them in. Green Bay tie plus Seattle loss or tie plus New Orleans loss or tie gets them in. Green Bay tie plus Seattle loss plus Tampa Bay loss. They got about 6 scenarios. But the fact that Minnesota at 7-9 can get in as a wild card team, or Atlanta can get in at 7-9 and win the division. Again, good or bad?
I love
NFL.
it. I love it because it kind of just makes them look stupid.
It does, and they don't care because we're all going to watch it and go, "This is stupid," but I'm watching it.
One of my favorite moments ever. Even I have said this many times. I hate the people in Seattle. I think they're dumb, but.
Way to generalize.
But when they had that home field advantage game against the Saints and they beat them, it was just like
and everybody complained. They should not be there.
Not only should they not be there, they shouldn't be hosting.
Yes. And then is that the one where
that was
the earthquake run or the seismic run?
See, and as much as I hate Seattle, Marshawn Lynch is one of my favorite athletes of all time. So I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that kind of was the counterpoint to, hey, this is dumb. You shouldn't have teams in with a losing record. Look at who they're keeping out, that kind of thing. It's the setup. And that's kind of why we had the question yesterday, and I think Four Down Territory making fun of the playoff committee in college football. Because right now, again, if you had to pick 4 teams from this NFL pool to be in what would be like the committee, how do you do it? I think we would all say, oh, yeah, Niners and Ravens. Cool. We don't really have to debate that. Who are your other 2? Buffalo, the Darlings. Why? They're 10-6. I'm not putting them in. Well, you can't not have the Chiefs. They're like Alabama. Yeah, but the Chiefs, are they one of the top 4? But in the end, you kind of feel like the Chiefs are going to be there.
If those Eagles losses were earlier in the season, I could see them.
Just ridiculous. How would you do it? Well, the Cowboys. Oh, everybody loves the Cowboys. They're always in. Well, are they? Well, they fail in the playoffs. You can't pick them. Why would we do that? This is a new year. Just a crazy exercise that we do, and yet we're going to do it again next year and watch them all and complain about them all and love them all as well. All right, Week 18 coming up. We'll have more on that. Again, coming up at 9, the voice of the 49ers, Greg Papa, will join us at Niners at 9. But next, more on the Kings. Busy weekend ahead. Our Sactown Sports Kings insider, Brendan Nunez, will join us. That is next.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Greg, and Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg at the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday, and we're looking at a cool start with a few passing clouds. For the afternoon ahead, looking at mostly sunny skies, a really nice day with highs in the upper 50s to low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockrell, Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. 2023 ended up being a good year for stock market growth, but what did the flow of money into stock market-based funds tell us? 2023 saw inflows of more than $172 billion, the lowest since 2019. Money market funds, likely led by the high interest rates, saw inflows of $1.34 trillion, exceeding the past 3 years combined. As interest rates decrease, there may be more money on the sidelines that could flow into stock-based investments, providing fuel for more growth. Will the Federal Reserve cut rates in 2024? Stocks represented by the S&P 500 have never rallied more than 11% in the 3 months prior to a rate cut. After a rate cut, stocks tend to rally for up to 7 months with an average gain of 12%. According to investors.com, the first cut has a 78% chance of happening by May 2024, possibly one of up to 6 cuts in 2024. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer and member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text.
Brendan, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Jason. Doing good. I made it this week.
You did. You're ready to roll. Are you in a different? No, that's the same location, huh?
It's the same. It's maybe different than when I first joined the station, but
Okay.
it's been the same for a month or two, something like that.
All right, I gotcha. So the Kings are going to be in action tonight. Before we kind of get to that, want to look back at this week a little bit. I know you just wrote about the last game and the, I guess officially, what did you call it? 6 calls that were looked at by the officials. What did you, or mess ups potentially here? What did you find out in that article?
Yeah. A 2-minute report that is for a double overtime game is a pretty lengthy one for sure. But there were, I guess 6 calls that were missed in here. A couple of, I don't mind not being called. Like, I guess there's a travel technically on Jalen Suggs with 6.1 seconds left. Like, it's little stuff like he moved his pivot foot before he finally put the ball on the floor, right? But the 2 big ones, obviously, are Paolo Banchero driving late in that charge, or Trey Lyles drawing a charge on him. They deemed that to be marginal contact, and it should not have been called. And that was a pretty pivotal time in the game. Obviously, had missed the shot, but gotten his own rebound. Seemed like he had an opportunity to put it right back in.
Yeah.
And then obviously the one as well where Paolo is driving, goes up, and it looks like JTA may have swiped down. I'm guessing that's what the ref saw in live time. Obviously totally lost it. Wasn't too news breaking to me, though. Kind of felt like ones that we knew upon replay in the arena, no?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the one I didn't get a second chance to ever see the Lyles one, because when it happened, I actually thought it was a charge. I don't know that they ever showed a replay, or if they did, I didn't see it on the big screen. Dave was talking to me a lot about that yesterday, and then he showed me the clip. I go, ooh, that doesn't look like a charge anymore. So I hadn't seen it, but just the one time. The one I had an issue with is, and again, the refs will make mistakes. I'm not even mad about that. But the fact that one ref called it Kings ball, then it was overturned on court without a review by another ref, and it was such a high-level play that is the perfect time as referees to go, look, now the Kings were out of challenges. They couldn't do anything about it. But, Brendan, to me, that's when you go, look, we have a difference of opinion. That's going to happen. Let's just go, look, this is too important of a play. And in that case, if they had done that, it would have been Kings ball.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with you, especially when it's a split decision like that.
Yeah.
And this exact wording, but I always think that when one ref is overriding the other, that they are extremely confident in that call. And I mean, clearly it was the incorrect one there. And I would have liked to see them go to the monitor, but I get why they avoid it if teams, they don't want to award an extra timeout for free. And so I understand avoid it, but that definitely was the time to go ahead and take a look at it.
Brendan, or 2 segments ago, I was kind of talking about a state of the Kings. And so I'd like to get that with you where, again, I think big picture, I think they're good. I don't think they're great. I think they've had some good wins. I think they've had some really puzzling and confounding losses. I think Fox, Sabonis are playing as great as we've seen. The list of people playing well, though, is shorter than it should be. So I don't know. I'd be curious, just an overall view, and then maybe we'll kind of narrow down as we go along. But just where you think the Kings are now, and where do you think they can get to?
Yeah, it's tough. These losses feel pretty bad, and the wins feel good. They beat every team above them in the Western Conference, and then obviously had some pretty tough losses. Like, you really shouldn't have needed to go to double overtime against the Magic. Are good this year, but they were down so many players, had lost 2 of their starters for that night throughout the course of the action. Obviously, the Hornets loss, who had lost 11 in a row. The Trailblazers loss is a tough one in there as well. But the team's 20-13. Like, they're for 49.5 wins, right around where they were last year. It's just I don't know if it's relative to expectations coming into the year that make it feel different or what to exactly pin it on. But what I point out a lot as very encouraging and still positive growth this season for the team's trajectory moving forward is that I now think De'Aaron Fox can be the best player on a championship team. I don't know that I thought that coming into the year. I thought it was maybe possible, but now I feel really confident in that take. And that's probably the hardest piece that you have to find when attempting to go out and build a contender. And the other thing I'd throw in there is that I think even if his 3-point shooting is down from where it was last year, we know that's an area that he's elite and he will bounce back. But the defensive from Keegan Murray, I think he's easily been their best defender during his time out there, and getting that progress from 2 of your 3 core players, what he does, just a nightly triple-double that you're used to and, people almost take for granted at this point. But I think that getting progress from those 2 core pieces is so important for the team.
Yeah, I agree in that sense. Now, where the puzzle is the others. And, to be a champion, Denver wins with basically on the back of Jokic and Murray, but Gordon's important, and Porter Jr. is important, and KCP, and last year Bruce Brown, and we go down the list, Jeff Green, and everyone they had. The others have all had their moments, but there's not been a consistency, whether that's Barnes or Herter or Monk. Monk has been more consistent, and Lyles has been more consistent, but Sasha in and out of the lineup. Is Davion in? Is it Keon Ellis? Is it JaVale McGee? Is it Alex Len? That song and dance hasn't really been nailed down, and partly because of performance and maybe the coaching staff still searching. But how do they address that, do you think, Brendan, on trying to get at least a little more consistency from the others of this team?
It's a tough question, Jason, and it's probably something that has people cook up some trade machine ideas, because I've gone back to a lot recently. If you believe in that core 3 and you think they are of high enough caliber to that can be your core for an eventual championship team, then 3 years ago, Denver, as you're talking about, was starting Gary Harris or Will Barton and Paul Millsap. Guys sound like current Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes to me. And then over the years, they slowly improved upon that by trading for Aaron Gordon midseason. Jamal Murray's out. They have a down year, but Aaron Gordon has time to get acclimated. Then the next offseason, they go get KCP. So I think that, it has to be a patient process, but I do think that it's going to probably have acquisitions to really round out those complementary pieces, but it doesn't necessarily have to be this year in my mind.
Oh, Kings fans don't want to hear that, Brendan.
I know they don't.
It's got to be now.
Very aware, Jason.
Yes. Yeah. And I think the organization has to know that too with their own look. I'm sure Vivek wants it. I mean, they all want it now. We all do. I don't think anybody's free from that, but you hope you have enough people, and I think they do, that are smart about this to not overreact. I think everything last year was to get in, and they did. And now they want to be better, but you got to do it in a way that you can get there, but also not like it's an all in this year. Otherwise, you fall apart. Like they've got to do this in a smart way.
Absolutely. And I think it's aggressive but disciplined is the wording we hear from the front office all the time. And that's what we've, I think, grown to expect. They're going to be a part of these conversations, but they're not unless they think it's the right one. And if we're talking about bringing in another higher caliber guy, especially then you have to be patient, because if you use what you have of assets and it doesn't work out, you're put in a tough spot. And ultimately that sets you back in the long term, So like Denver, again, not to just continue pointing to the previous championship contenders, but I think that roster construction, they are fairly their core three. It took time.
Yeah.
They got so much praise when they finally won for the patience that they had and how atypical that is in today's NBA. But the Kings have the 3 years plus, a large majority of them outside of Malik Monk, which TBD what happens this offseason.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know people don't want to hear it process, right? And it's not always linear.
Yeah. That's a good point. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break with Brendan. I want to follow up on that. I was talking about Malik a few moments ago. I want to ask your thoughts on this because I think he's a real interesting part of the puzzle based on him being a free agent, based upon him maybe being coveted by other teams, how the Kings handle that. We're going to ask that and more to Brendan Nunes, our Sactown Sports Kings insider. Quick break. We'll come back much more straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Carmichael Dave. He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Ball knocked loose by Keegan on the floor. A scrum. Malik Monk picks it up. Crosses the midcourt line. Slows the balance. Now going to stop and launch a three. There it is. He hits the triple. His first bucket of the ball game. 73-68. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
The G-Man you'll be able to hear tonight on the call. Busy weekend for the Kings. They get Toronto tonight. And then on Sunday, the New Orleans Pelicans coming up for Sacramento. Malik Monk, a key part of what we were talking about here with our Sactown Sports Kings insider, Brendan Nunes, joining us here. We're having a couple of little glitches there on our YouTube there with Brendan, so we've got him here on our Folsom Lake Honda hotline. As Brendan, you got us now? Loud and clear?
All here, yeah. Sorry, it's probably Wi-Fi on my end deciding to act up there.
No worries. I'm glad we're here on this side. So we're talking about the Kings, kind of the state. You were kind of preaching maybe some patience here if we're following a Denver template. Look, they kind of kept that core, made some tweaks around it, and then boom, they found themselves a real good groove here. I want to ask you about Malik because I personally think he can really be, submitted into the whether he's the third best player on the team or the fourth, whatever, but he's a huge factor in what they're doing. He's also a free agent and will deserve to be paid very well this summer. He's a tricky one because I think the Kings want to go forward with him. I think he's someone that could be coveted in a move to make if you want to, that could help get you a piece if you don't think you can pay Malik and you want to pay that other player that you're bringing in. So I guess my question is, how do you think they handle the Malik Monk situation going forward, knowing that he could really help the Kings, but he could also help them in a way to get him another player too?
Yeah, it's interesting. Part of him signing a 2-year deal is that they only have early bird rights rather than full bird rights. And the Kings are working with no cap space this offseason unless they did some, crazy finagling, which I guess you'll never rule out in the NBA, right? It seems to happen fairly easily now, but it seems pretty tough to pull off. And I believe the number that they're right around is like $19 million a year that they can offer for Malik. And I'm not sure that that's quite enough. I think that there are teams that could come in and offer a bigger deal there. Now, they could offer a 1-year deal and give Malik the opportunity to bet on himself, maybe like a player option the year after. And then since they would then have him for 3 years, they would get the full bird rights after the fact and then upgrade his contract from there. But Malik would have to be willing to essentially bet on himself again.
Yeah.
Right. So it puts it in a tough spot. And while 19 totally could be enough, and I could just be worrying about that for no reason, it's kind of interesting to me that I think that he's not necessarily untouchable in these trade conversations because of that fact that there is question marks surrounding his offseason, what the Kings may be willing to pay, and just those chances existing that another team could swoop in and the Kings lose him for nothing. And when you're looking at matching salary in a lot of these deals, you go to Kevin Huerter and you go to Harrison Barnes, obviously, who are on a bigger number than Malik Monk, but Malik is clearly going to have the most value.
Yes.
And I think that, I would, when I'm playing with the trade machine, I'm not thinking that Malik Monk is totally out of conversations here, even though I agree he's been their third best player. At times it's felt like he's been their second best player throughout the course of the season.
I'm with you. And that's why we were actually kind of joking about that trade machine thought. I said, look, most people are guilty of it. I can be too, of like trying to make the deal that makes the Kings look so good, but you're not giving up enough. And I think, to me, if you're trying to look at this logically, what other teams are going to look at from the Sacramento Kings, first you want talent. Well, that's Fox, Sabonis, Keegan. I don't think the Kings are that interested in certainly moving Fox or Sabonis or Keegan, but if you really want other great talent back, that might be the one you have to move. So if you're a little shy of that, if it's not talent, I would put Monk in there too, but Monk also checks the box of an expiring contract, and then the other part is draft picks. And so many of us are guilty of like just putting in all this filler, but I don't think that's as desired as people think. So I think what people would want on this team would be the draft picks, certainly Monk and Keegan Murray, and that's where I think it's really tricky for the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Toronto's in a spot where it makes sense why they would why they value some players that can contribute now would also be part of the long-term over draft picks. But it's interesting to see like the development of how teams feel about just throwing a bunch of first-round picks into a deal, right? Because that's kind of what really Sacramento's going to have to offer if we're talking about these big swings, or even if we're talking about more marginal stuff like Alex Caruso or Dorian Finney-Smith. Like, again, Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, they aren't negative value. I think they're fine value. I think that you could get a late first-round pick. Teams like Milwaukee would love to have Harrison Barnes instead of Malik Beasley in their starting lineup, So it's not like these guys have no value, but I think that Malik is just in a different caliber there. And the players that are matching are often, if you're trading with a team that's not just totally looking to reset, pretty important in making this deal. And if you're not putting Keegan on the table, like, I don't think Davion Mitchell is really wowing anybody. If anything, he's kind of a little filler to maybe just get it over the top. And there's not these standout players that I think make your deal look that sweet, right? A lot of also times when I'm trying to maybe, I guess, theorize some trades, it's not just does this make sense in general. It's if this player became available, is this the best that team could get for him?
Right.
And often it's pretty tough with the players that Sacramento is sending out, but Malik Monk would be pretty enticing. And I don't want to come off as like I'm advocating to trade Malik.
Right.
I just feel like it's not being mentioned in a way that I feel like it would make sense for it to be a possibility here.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, he's the puzzle that you addressed it perfectly, what they're going to look at salary-wise. Can they even keep him? And if so, then, and I hope they are already having those conversations with his agent and those kind of things to at least gauge where this might go. So that's kind of the tough spot they're in. But before any of that happens, and maybe none of this happens, the roster is constructed as is. And like we said, it's been good, but there's been some puzzles here. Let's talk about tonight. Toronto comes in. I thought they bothered, if we go to last year's historically, and I'm doing the air quotes, great offense, that team that I remember came into Sacramento and bothered the Kings, that offensive Kings team, more than anybody did all of last year. They've been up and down. They've underperformed, but since their trade, they've been a little bit better. What do you think about tonight's matchup with the Raptors?
It's always interesting getting a team not long after they made I guess not, core changing trade necessarily, but they definitely altered their lineup by a good bit there. And they got their dynamic guard play back, right? I think is a big part here with Quickly. He feels fairly similar. They definitely have their differences, but fairly similar offensively to like a Fred VanVleet that used to be in this system. And I think that's a very big get for them. But they still managed to have their duo of dynamic wings. It just went from a trio to a duo, right? With Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam still there. That's the prototype that's given the Kings troubles this year. You look at Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram or Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Like, the Kings have kind of struggled with some of those teams, so it'll be an interesting matchup. But I think that teams that sometimes can struggle to score but are good defensively feel like the teams that Sacramento typically does better against, because we know they can score, and they kind of need the opposition to shoot themselves in the foot a little bit with their own offense. I think at times helps when you're not a great defensive team. So it's hard to evaluate coming into prior to the trade. They're a little bit of a slow team, kind of middle of the pack in offense and defense, and didn't really have a calling card, I would say, maybe outside of their finishing around the rim, and they moved the ball a bit. But it's tough to evaluate not long after they made a trade, but it's certainly not a team to overlook and a team that has played the Kings well in the past. So, maybe you got to go get this win for Jordy. Show them that they chose the wrong guy.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Toronto, I look at their record, 14-20, 5-11 on the road. None of that stands out. But if I'm giving you their top 7 or 8, I mean, this does not seem like a team that's 6 games below 500 that starts now. Siakam, Barnes, and Pirtle with RJ Barrett and Quickly in the backcourt. They'll play Schroeder, Gary Trent, Boucher. Like, that doesn't seem like a world beater, but certainly not 14-20.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, I think that it would make sense, think back to like how long you knew that Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley were going to get traded. And just imagine they were like actually core pieces.
Yeah.
And there have been so many rumors floating for, gosh, it feels like 3 years for Pascal Siakam and for OG Anunoby. And now you finally managed to wipe your slate clean of that. You got a new coach coming in Darko to start the year, trying to implement a couple new systems. Jakob Poeltl has not been as good as he was last year, and I think that's kind of quietly been a pretty tough trade when they sent out a first-round pick to acquire him. And Dennis Schroeder was your starting point guard. No offense to Dennis Schroeder, but I don't think that he's a great game manager, even if you are primarily running your offense through Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and some of these other guys. But it's almost like a hodgepodge of talent, but the fit seemed a little bit questionable. And maybe that got a little bit better since this move, specifically Quickly.
Yeah, I think, too, you brought up the kind of the style of team they are, and you referenced New Orleans. The fact that they play New Orleans on Sunday and have had so much trouble with them, these aren't the 2 most important games of the season, but I'm really anxious to see what not only the results, the final score, but how they play against these 2 teams, because, again, this has been up and down this year, but there's kind of been a blueprint of teams that have bothered them. And so I'm anxious to see what we're talking about on Monday after these 2 games with these 2 teams.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. I am going to make a prediction that they beat the Pelicans.
Really? Why so?
I just don't think you're going to lose to a team 4 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds crazy to me. And I know that, last game they had just gotten CJ McCollum and Trey Murphy back. They felt like a little bit of a different team in the way they were playing or the spacing and size that they had available to them. But losing to the same team 4 times for how good of a team the Sacramento Kings are, I just think that there's going to be a lot of energy in that game, and it's nothing against New Orleans, but I guess I'm just rolling with the odds, even though I should treat each game individually. But I think that when you've lost to a team 3 times, it's pretty tough for it to happen 4.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, Jason, we might even should be looking at this Detroit-Charlotte back-to-back with how those have gone.
Right, the one that's coming up next week?
Yeah, that's right after. It goes Toronto, New Orleans, and then on the road, Detroit, Charlotte, back-to-back.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be nervous about that one, but I feel like we have to be.
Yeah, I mean, based on the track record of this year's team, and after Sunday, 12 of the next 14 on the road. So, again, we're getting closer to the halfway point, getting more and more info on this team. And I'm with you, though. I'm glad you said what you did about Fox, because even coming off one of his worst games this year, he's so good. He's a superstar. He's made it there. He's I said last year he just needed to get to the playoffs so the rest of the world could see it, and he was really good in that 7-game series. If he can get into multiple rounds and more people see him, we know it. It's just I think the rest of the world needs to see how good he is.
I think the same, and that's just going to come with, like you said, that playoff experience, right? I mean, the jump in 3-point shooting, I had really grown to just think this probably isn't going to happen, and that's fine. Getting asked, like, what's the biggest thing De'Aaron could improve on this offseason? It was always the 3, but I looked in different directions because maybe that just wasn't going to happen. But last year you saw the progress in the mid-range. He became an elite mid-range shooter, starting from an already good point, but became elite. And now a lot of those have just come a few steps back, and you're in 3-point territory now.
Yeah.
To be at 39% on more than 8 a game, I believe last time I checked, I believe it's still the case, he's leading the team in attempts. Like, I think of that Atlanta game. There's 2 that stand out to me as like, wow, this is different moments. There's the Dallas game early in the year, which may have been the first time I've ever seen a defender go over screens guarding De'Aaron. It was Derrick Jones Jr., and it's like, wow, he's shooting so well that they're taking that away instead of his downhill game, which obviously unlocks everything. And then that Atlanta game where he takes 20 shots, 16 come from beyond the arc, and he makes half of them. Like, that shooting is so different. The confidence is there. He's pulling it from deep, and that just changes the trajectory of how good De'Aaron Fox can be when you mix in everything else he was already great at, his finishing, his playmaking. I think he's really taken a step up defensively throughout the course of this year. Like, I think he's right there in that elite conversation, and MVP ballot conversations is where I would say he's at right now. And now winning the thing is an entirely different story and will take more team success. But, that might be in the cards at some point in his career.
Yeah, it's funny that you brought up the Atlanta game, because I'm in studio for the game here, and he's having a career night from beyond the arc. I knew the stat you said, because I'm like, De'Aaron's taking 4 twos. That's his superpower. Yeah. I was actually finding myself almost getting angry, and he's hitting 8 threes for his best night. I'm like, why aren't you getting to the basket? But he's making every 3 he's throwing up there. So if he can round out those 2 in a perfect harmony, then he's truly unguardable.
I think the same. A lot of people are like, gosh, he should just drive to the basket a little more. It's like, guys, he's shooting 39%. Exactly. I get that that's hard to shake for sure. I'm very guilty of it too, but I just kind of remind myself, like, he's an elite shooter this year. Yeah. And I still have to add the this year caveat, but hopefully we won't have to down the line.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Brendan, we know we'll be checking out your stuff at SactownSports.com. Your continued great work. I'll see you out at the game tonight, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate you, Jason.
All right, thank you. That's Brendan Nunez. You can check him out. You can check out Frankie. Emil, certainly with 49ers coverage. Joe does a bunch of work on our site as well. Just a lot of people doing hard work on Sactown Sports. It's out there for you. We encourage you to go to SactownSports.com and read all the great articles, find videos, our podcasts, our YouTube. All of that is all there for you. When we come back, 4 down territory. We'll look at this week in the NFL, some locks, some upsets, and more. Still to come, who's hot, who's not. Pick 6 for the Niners, 3 in the key, but at 9. Niners at 9. Greg Papa, voice of the Niners. All that straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors, extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, CalHope can help. Check out our free mental health resource at calhope.org today.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
In the morning to get your your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Got some really good feedback from our conversation with Brendan Nunez. Appreciate that from those of you calling in to share that as well. We roll along. Jason Ross, Chris Verlaud. We take you till 10. Friday fun and games to wrap things up for the week as we lead you into Styles and Watkins. Celebrity birthdays coming up too. But it is that time. Time for 4 down territory.
De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, not De'Aaron Fox. It's time for 4 down territory. There it is.
I just love how it decides to skip the song every once in a while.
You wait your turn, De'Aaron Fox. 4 downs. Chris, let's start with we're going to start with first down. What do you got?
I got, what is your lock of the week in the NFL?
This week is weird. We just did it. We went through all the quarterbacks playing. Like, what's a lock of the week this week? All right, I'm going to just scroll through this. Who's going to win for certainty? All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions at home. If sounds like Jared Goff will play. Vikings need to win, need a lot of help. Sorry, Chris Watkins, but I'm taking the Detroit Lions. Favored by, what are they favored by in this one? 3.5. It's not overwhelming, but I'm going to take the Lions as my lock of the week.
Is it surprising that Dan Campbell isn't sitting anybody?
Exactly. Gonna bite their kneecaps. Second down.
What is your upset of the week in the NFL?
I guess this is equally as difficult because, who's playing, who's not playing. Let me see if I can
Is it an upset?
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, the points, what's even the largest point spread this week? Cincinnati. That's funny. Cincinnati is favored at home by 7 over the 11-5 Browns. It's because of Jeff Driscoll is starting. Philly's favored by 6. Oh, there you go. Dallas by 13. That's the largest one. Upset of the week. Wow. I'll do this. I know Mahomes isn't playing. I'm going to take the Chiefs at the Chargers. Chargers favored by 3.5. I don't even think, look, I'm not a bettor on sports. I wouldn't gamble if I were you. Why would you do it? Maybe the real gamblers are like, no, this is the exact week, Chris, but I feel like it's a trap.
It feels like preseason.
It does.
Betting.
And maybe that's in the margins where people can really do wonders, or because I still think, isn't the Super Bowl the most bet on?
Yes.
And I don't know. I don't really know, like, if there's great odds of things to win. Like, if you're picking someone to win the game, all right, you're just going to get your money back, basically. But, yeah, it's a trap this week. Avoid it. Don't bet. Stay away. Third down.
Which game would you most like to attend in the NFL this week?
I might switch this question to which game would you least like to attend? Most attend, I guess the most attend, I think, is the easy answer. It's the Sunday night game. Let's go to Miami, check out the Bills and Dolphins. But I want to see if we can find, Chris, what would be your least appealing game this week? Because I'm trying to think, is there one that absolutely has zero, either a non-playoff team or someone that can't get in? Steelers, Ravens, Texas Colts. Let's see, Jags, Titans, Jets, Patriots. Jets, Patriots has absolutely zero to play for.
Do you know which one I would really not like to go to?
Which one?
Rams, Niners. Because not only are they not playing for anybody, I hate Levi Stadium.
Do you?
Yeah.
What do you hate about it?
I hate, well, you're not going to have this problem this week. I wouldn't think so, but it's so hot. They talked about that.
Yeah, that won't be the case.
It's just it's like in the middle of kind of nowhere, but there's also no parking, and it's hard to get in and get out of. And it's such a cookie cutter place.
I'm trying to think now. I went to one football game there ever, and it was a bowl game.
And I haven't been to a football game there.
And it was a bowl game, and maybe I remember it being pretty crowded, but probably not full. But I heard all the horror stories of how bad it is. And it was so easy for us. Now, again, I got to take it for it wasn't a 49er game on a Sunday. I don't know. I had zero issue, but I don't. There's too many people that have gone and said it's an issue. So, yeah, the Rams, Niners, plus then you add in the people that aren't playing. But I think the games that absolutely have zero, either a team in or playing to get in right now, is Jets, Patriots, I guess Broncos, Raiders. And, yeah, I think that's it. But the Raiders, you're in Vegas. Like,
yeah.
That one wouldn't be on my list to not go to. All right, fourth down.
Of the teams fighting for the playoffs, which one would you most like to see get in?
So the candidates to still get in that are still available for the playoff picture we mentioned earlier. In the AFC, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Indianapolis, Houston, Pittsburgh, those all can still get in. I don't know. I'd like to see Pittsburgh get in.
What's so insane is if you asked me this 4 weeks ago, I was like, it would be fun if the Browns could get in.
Yeah, and
they are.
They're already in.
With the week to go.
Yeah, Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs, and Browns are in. We're waiting on either Jacksonville or Indy or Houston to win that division to be the 4 seed. And the 6-7 is either going to be Buffalo, one of those other AFC South teams, or Pittsburgh. So I'd like to see Pittsburgh. Maybe NFC, you've got the Niners in, the Cowboys in, the Lions in, the Eagles in, the Rams in. We got to figure out the NFC South, whether that's Tampa, New Orleans, or Atlanta somehow. And then the other teams still with a chance are Green Bay, Seattle, Minnesota. Yeah, I think if I'm looking at the whole list, it's probably Pittsburgh for me. I don't know why. I like the Steelers a little bit. It's good that a lot of teams are still available that can make it, but it's also, like we said before, all the backup quarterbacks this week. It's not what the NFL had envisioned when they had added this extra week of football. There you go. That is 4 down territory. When we come back, we'll make some predictions on this weekend and on tonight. We got Pick 6. Somehow we'll come up with categories for the Niners and Rams. 3 in the key for Kings and Raptors, and who's hot, who's not, all leading up to Greg Papa. That is all coming up here on Sactown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike to the left hand. The Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2024 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by E.B. Stone. E.B. Stone, for the life of your garden. The 49ers rang in 2024 with 2 wins. First, defeating Washington 27-10 on the road, Week 17. Then, they clinched the NFC thanks to Arizona's win over Philadelphia. San Francisco now heads into Week 18 with the best record in the conference to finish out the regular season against Los Angeles, before having a bye week to open the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Again, the voice of the San Francisco 49ers, Greg Papa, coming up at Niners at 9, but it is time for Who's Hot, Who's Not. Chris, let's start with the Who's Hot.
Nikola Jokic.
Yes, he is.
Beat the Warriors last night. But besides that, this is an interesting fact from NBA history. He is third in the highest field goal percentage over a 4-game span in the shot clock era since 54-55, with a minimum of 40 attempts. He's 39 of 44 in 4 games at 88.6%.
He's missed 5 shots in the last 4 games.
Yeah, taking 44 shots.
Yeah, including this one that he did not miss.
3.6 seconds left. Denver looking for the game winner. Aaron Gordon looks in, throws it off over to Jokic. 2 seconds. He's across the timeline from 45 feet.
Got it at the horn! Nikola Jokic buries the Golden State Warriors. For the second year in a row, Denver stuns the Warriors with a last-second three-point shot. And the Golden State Warriors can go ahead and take that out on the way out. Oh, man. What a shot by Joker. That was from the logo. Final on the big board, 130 to 127.
And as one of our chatters is suggesting on the YouTube, that Joker 3 was glorious. The look on Steph's face was classic. Night, Steph. So he is hot. Who's not?
The in-season tournament winners.
Okay, the Lakers.
Since the in-season tournament win, they are 3-10, and there are talks about head coach Darvin Ham losing the locker room.
Yeah, so you heard that yesterday when we had Sam on, and
Yeah.
Dave and Sam. I don't know if I was missing something. I had to follow up. I'm like, wait, why is this like so? If this is like they both made it sound like it's happening and happening soon, and I was surprised by that. I think that's crazy.
I think,
but it's believable, I guess.
When you've got LeBron on your team, and you've got to think that it starts with him. It starts in like how many coaches have been quote fired early?
Yes, but doesn't he kind of help handpick these guys?
Yeah, he handpicked Russell Westbrook. Maybe he shouldn't be a player GM.
Yes, exactly. Man. And who do you feel worse for, Chris? The Warriors losing like that last night or the Lakers going through some turmoil? If you have to pick one.
That is such a tough one.
Lakers are 17 and 18 right now, currently in the 10th spot, the last of the play-in. Right behind them at 16 and 18, the Golden State Warriors. Currently 11th.
So if I had to choose like which one made the playoffs, I would pick the Warriors.
Why?
Actually, no. My reasoning was I didn't want the Warriors because the Warriors do a better job of. Actually, they haven't done a good job of drafting the last couple of.
Yeah, I mean, some
picks.
they would say this year with Podziemski and Trace Jackson.
But I think if the Lakers don't make the playoffs this year, I think it's anarchy.
Yeah. Well, and right behind the Warriors, all of a sudden, are the Jazz at 16 and 19. So I mean, they could maybe bump up and get the Lakers out. That's the team we need. We go Utah, go Jazz, go. I mean, what's crazy is I would say before the year, some people thought maybe the Warriors could make another run, and again, they still can, but they're 11th. A lot of people love the Lakers roster. I thought they did a really good job in their roster overhaul. They're 10th. 9th, probably one of the favorites with adding Beal and Durant last year. Then the Suns, they're 9th. Yeah, that's crazy. Kings have a little cushion on those guys. They got to be careful here, but they got a cushion on those guys, which is nice to see. All right, so that's who's hot, who's not. All right, let's do it. We got some predictions to make. Let's start with 3 in the key for tonight. It's the Kings and the Raptors from Golden One Center. Of course, the game can be heard right here on Sactown Sports with the voice of the Kings, the G-Man, Gary Gerald. All right, Chris, it's just you and I making our picks. You guys can weigh in on the text line, certainly on YouTube, if you got input on our 3 predictions, our 3 categories. Chris, last game, Malik Monk, tremendous. Season high, he was awesome. So what's the encore? We are asking for points for Malik Monk. I am suggesting that Malik tonight will not score as many as last game, but he'll have a good game. He'll have 17 tonight.
I've got 22.
2-2 for Malik Monk. All right. Our best player, or soon-to-be all-star for the second year in a row when it happens, De'Aaron Fox, had one of his poor performances, but I anticipate a bounce back. We're asking for his stat line, points, rebounds, and assists. What do you predict for that? I have got De'Aaron going 33 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists.
I've got 27, 4, and 6.
Okay, we're very close on that. Then, as always, to close things out, something different, something random that will happen tonight. I have that this dead last in free throw shooting team will shoot better than 80% as a team from the free throw line tonight.
I'm going to say Keegan Murray lights the beam.
Yeah, I just thought I'd push the button. It's kind of fun. See the light go up. And then Malik comes over there. I'll give you a 3. Keegan Murray lights the beam. You know what? Because, what was it? Yeah, last game Keegan had a really good dunk. I don't think we got any
He had a really good dunk. He had that layup, and then he had just the...
There was one great take that he had a layup that I was like, wow, it was late in the shot clock. He's like, I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, there you go. It's one of his better moves he's had as a pro. Okay, there you go. There's our predictions for those 3 categories. Let me see. We got a couple weighing in. Malik will have 18 with a massive dunk. We got 23 for Malik. For Fox, he will go 30, 8, and 4. We got another 29, 5, and 6. We got the random. Domas will make all but 3 free throws. Pascal Siakam sits after being traded mid-game to us.
Very random.
That would be random, but pretty amazing. There you go. Thank you for weighing in on that. All right, now it's time to do this football style with the 49ers and pick 6. This one's going to be a little more difficult based on who's playing, who's not playing. We ask this one every week, Chris, in our 6 predictions for the 49ers. Who's the first 49er to score? I've been going CMC for about 9 weeks in a row. I'm going to use the running back instead of him, Elijah Mitchell.
Okay, then I'll take Moody.
Were you going to take Mitchell?
Yeah.
You could take Mitchell.
No.
Okay. All right. Quarterback yards. Sam Darnold versus Carson Wentz. I think Darnold's going to throw for 261, and Wentz is going to throw for 199.
215 and 170.
Okay. The halftime score of the game. Why don't you go first on this one, Chris?
It will be 7-6.
Who?
Niners. I thought you said ew for a second.
No. Well, all right. I'm gonna push back on your 7-6 49ers. Does Moody kick the field goal and then 2 safeties?
No. Now that I'm thinking about that,
would you like to change that?
No. He's gonna score on a field goal mishap.
Oh, this is going down as your random. Wait, we got to go back to this. So Moody scores a TD.
Yes.
That is fabulous. I mean, honestly,
I love how I just never even think ahead on these.
If that happens, you will have backed into like the greatest.
9-6. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can't do it.
You're not doing the Moody scoring
No.
a TD? Okay. You want to keep this authentic. 9-6 San Francisco. I'm going to go halftime score of 13-7 San Francisco. All right, longest play from scrimmage. How many yards will that be?
21.
Okay, I have 44. We didn't put it as who. It doesn't matter. 44 and 21. Final score of the game.
Final score will be.
I have 20-16 San Francisco.
Final score will be 23-13.
SF?
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, we are looking for a random stat. I have 49ers will block a punt.
Moody will have his most field goals in the game.
Okay. Most field goals for Moody. Are you going to be mad if Moody scores a touchdown now?
Yes. Tackle him. Oh, I am the worst person to watch a game with. Not now, not after fantasy football.
Yeah.
But I cheer for my team, so people get like very upset with me just because of who I'm rooting for.
What do you mean? Wait, explain.
So let's say I've got Travis Kelce
Yes.
on my team.
Okay.
He catches it. He's going down. He's going down the sideline. I'm just like, go, 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 go. He gets tackled at the 3. Next play, they hand off. I'm yelling, stop him, stop him,
yes,
get him.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way on that. And then to the point where if some aren't certain, like, wait, who are you rooting for?
Yeah.
Well, not really the team, the individual.
Yeah,
I need that.
That's what they get the upset about, that I'm not rooting for a team.
Yeah. For me, it's usually when I'm playing someone in fantasy football and they're on the long run, like catch and run. I'm like, tackle him. Oh, you want the Packers? No, I don't care about the Packers.
I don't care.
I don't want that guy to score. Oh, you don't like him? No, he's fine. And then you start to explain it. And I go, and then maybe someone on my team is also on the team of the guy that caught the pass. And like, wait, I thought you didn't like them. No, I like the guy that I'm cheering for to score.
A few years back, I was watching Monday Night Football at a bar, and the game was over. I can't remember who the Steelers were playing, but I was down like half a point, and it was meaningless, and the other team is losing, and they probably could have just kneeled, but they just went for a pass anyways, and he just threw it up, and it was an interception to the Steelers. And I went absolutely insane. Like I just won the Super Bowl. And it was like, what are you doing?
I won. That's fun. That's the beauty and the horror as well of fantasy football. All right. How about real football? Greg Papa, the voice of the 49ers, joins us every Friday at 9 for Niners at 9. That is next on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Here's third down. Purdy looks right. Purdy now chased out of the pocket. Now going back the other way, a 360 spin. Trying to send, throws for the end zone. Ayuk is open. Touchdown! San Francisco. Ayuk is on fire!
On the playground. Wow, Brock Purdy spinning out. There was nowhere to go with the ball. He looks right. He looks left. Then he's got to spin out all the way up to his right. Fran with the pirouette puts his foot in the ground and finds Ayuk.
The guys were having fun last week for sure on the Niners bounce back win in D.C., their last true road game, right? If everything goes right, bunch of home games, and hopefully one more road game would be in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. It's Niners at 9 Friday. We love checking in with the voice of the 49ers, Greg Papa, joining us. Greg, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I would say the date is February the 4th, Chase, when the Dallas Cowboys, the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles, all their players go to Orlando, Florida, Camping World Stadium for a game called the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
The 9 Niners that made it on Wednesday, they're not going. We'll be getting on their plane to go to Las Vegas, Nevada to get ready for the Super Bowl. So we'll see. But what a way to end the year with a win in Washington. Have Arizona gift the 49ers the number 1 seed. So many teams to thank. Robert Saleh and the New York Jets for beating Philadelphia, Buffalo for taking them into overtime the week before the Niners got them, Dallas, Jackson Smith and Jigba, a catch he made in Seattle on that Monday night. And now we just got one more game to play for bookkeeping, and then it's on to the the playoffs, and I think that'll be January the 20th, that Saturday.
Yeah, I saw some footage of different Niners watching the end of that Eagles game. I'm guessing, were you still up in the booth? How did you see the conclusion of that Eagles finish?
Well, the whole fourth quarter of the 49ers-Commanders game, I was doing play-by-play of two games. I was doing that game as well, and I got really distracted. I had a couple of plays, but I actually did play-by-play of James Conner's touchdown and the interception at the end by Blunt to ice it, and I actually broke into a touchdown Arizona. Tim Ryan was not happy. I got scolded for that, so I had to drop it fast. But, the two things needed to happen that day. The Niners needed to win, and Philadelphia needed to lose. And the Niners wanted Philadelphia to lose, not really thinking they would, and they were up 21-6 at one point, and Arizona came back. The one-hand catch by James Conner was amazing, going for two. In any event, the Niners wanted to bye. They didn't necessarily want the double bye, but they got a double bye. They're still going to play their guys to some degree on Sunday to wind it up against the Rams. And then we have the weird possibility that the 49ers could play the Rams divisional weekend 2 weeks from this weekend. So makes for a great scenario. But, yeah, that was a little confusing, and the guys went down to the locker room, and they were coming off the field. A lot of them were live streaming it. Kyle had a group of players come into his office in Washington and Landover, Maryland, to watch the end of the game. So, and that made for a great trip home on New Year's Eve, knowing that they really and they were practicing hard this week, but it's not the same as getting ready to play a game. You got to win. Now they want to win. They want to go to 13-4. They want to beat the Rams for a 10th straight time in the regular season, but they don't have to win the game on Sunday. They're where they want to be.
Yeah, and they earned it. I mean, right? They can do this. They're allowing themselves. And Greg, I was talking earlier about just how fast, and you know this, how fast sports can change. I just think about, and we've talked so much about Brock Purdy, but his landscape, maybe a year and a half ago, he's trying to beat out Nate Sudfeld as the third quarterback on the team, to now in week 18, he's so valuable, they want to rest him to protect him on a Super Bowl caliber team where he's in the MVP conversation. Life moves pretty fast in the NFL, and Brock Purdy's been able to do that. It's an amazing ride that he's been on.
You know, I had a long sit-down interview with Brock on yesterday, actually. You'll hear it on the pregame show on Sunday. And he just celebrated his 24th birthday the Wednesday after the Christmas night game and probably lost the MVP that night. But then the following Wednesday, he bounces back in Washington. They win the game. And the following Wednesday, he's a Pro Bowler in the NFC. Not just that, though, Jace. He's the Pro Bowl starter at quarterback in the NFC. He beat them all out. And he got the most votes of any player in the fan balloting in the entire NFL. More than Mahomes, more than Kelsey, more than his teammate McCaffrey, Kittle, anybody. I mean, it's an unbelievable story. And now he's done it so well that he's going to miss this game on Sunday. He's still working. He's still going to take his reps. He actually ran the scout team a little bit yesterday. And then he was, he gets Jeff Garcia's record in the game, 4,280 passing yards, the most in Niners history. And he's the first Niner quarterback since Jeff to make the Pro Bowl. Jeff made it 3 straight years, 2000, 2001, 2002. And so for Brock to do all this and the calendar year of 2023 for Brock has been an amazing year, starting with the 2 January playoff wins over Seattle and Dallas, the championship game in Philly, the injury in Philly, the rehab, the surgery, the rehab, the recovery for the torn UCL, getting used to having that internal brace in his right elbow. And then on New Year's Eve, wind it up. And there was, what if he had finished 5 yards shy of Garcia's record?
Yeah.
Brock thought he had that game, and he would have the Rams game to get the record. But Philadelphia loses. We're not going to play in the Rams game. What if he had 4,275 yards, and he was 2 yards or 3 yards, whatever it is, behind Garcia? Would Kyle start him in this game, have him throw one screen to Debo and get out of there? And how would you handle that? So the whole scenario in Washington, Landover, Maryland, and Philadelphia went down perfectly. And what a way for him to end his 2023 on New Year's Eve. And now he can dream the dream and what the first 6 weeks of 2024 will afford him.
Do you look, the players aren't going to say it, and Kyle wouldn't say it, organizationally wouldn't say it. Do you have a roadmap of what you prefer to see first in 2 weeks for the Niners at home? Or who you prefer?
As far as who they play now.
Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, the way they do it in the NFL, and it's very different than the NBA, as you well know, is they reseed in the NFL.
Yeah.
So in the NBA, 1-8 plays 4-5, 2-7 plays 3-6. It's brackets. They don't do that. So the Niners are the number one seed. They'll watch Wild Card Weekend, and it's super Wild Card Weekend. So you got 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, then 1 on Monday night with the wraparound game. I think we're going to play Saturday, January the 20th. Typically, the bye teams, 49ers in the NFC, Baltimore in the AFC, because they were off Wild Card Weekend, they bring them back for the first possible day, and that would be Saturday. I think Baltimore will probably play in the afternoon. We'll play at 5 o'clock. I'm not sure. Lamar's a big ratings draw, but the Niners, what if Philadelphia beats Tampa Bay and the other games go accordingly?
Yeah, the Niners
Detroit
Eagles
wins.
Yeah.
Niners Eagles on that Saturday night would be huge. So, but one thing is you're not going to play Dallas. You're not going to play Detroit, assuming Dallas is 2.
Correct.
And Detroit is 3. You would play the winner of 4 or 5 unless there's an upset, and 6 beats 3 and 7 beats 2, whoever's the higher seed. So in all honesty, I don't have a preference. We'll look at it more Wild Card Weekend, but it's going to be fascinating. What if the Rams go in and, say the Niners beat the Rams and they're 7, they go knock out Dallas for the Niners, and the Rams come to Levi's on January 20th? Would that be wild? Now, if the Rams pull it off, maybe it's not Saturday because, what if they play on Monday night or something?
True.
They're not going to make them come back and play on Saturday. So we really don't know. I don't really have a preference. What's the juiciest possible matchup for divisional weekend? Niners, Rams, Niners, Packers, Niners, Seahawks, Niners, Eagles, Niners, Buccaneers. Which one's the best for television?
I mean, I think the journey, if it was Niners, Eagles into Niners, Cowboys, that's, besides Rams or Seahawks, I guess you're hitting as good of a rivals as you can get, right?
Yeah, I mean, last year it was Seattle.
Yeah.
And then it was Dallas.
Right.
I mean, Seattle's probably the biggest rival for the new generation going back to the early 10s and Harbaugh against Pete Carroll. And then it's rekindled, obviously with the Dre Greenlaw play in Seattle, the last play and last inch of 2019. And so that's probably the hottest Niner rival for this new generation. Going back to our generation, I go to the Cowboys Niners in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and now obviously, we knocked them out of the playoffs the year before in Arlington to knock them off again. To get them a third straight year, have a chance to knock them off. And it would be in every round would be better, where we beat them in the wild card when Dak didn't spike the ball in time. We beat them in the divisional last year. That was a 9-9 game, late third quarter. Then McCaffrey took it over. George Kittle had that amazing one-hand catch from Brock on the roll left, and McCaffrey punched it in the first play of the fourth quarter, and they held on. So if you would go wild card, divisional, championship Sunday, and have a new Niners-Cowboys trilogy, like the early the Niners lost to them 3 straight years, in 70, 71, 72. They lost to them in 92 and 93, finally broke through in 94 and got the monkey off their back to win. That would be great. They got to win, though, so I don't know if that's the easiest path, but Eagles, Cowboys, divisional championship Sunday at Levi, sign me up for that.
Yeah. Greg, as we're talking with Greg Papa, voice of the 49ers, we know that the Niners have earned this spot, that they can rest some guys and get some reps for some. Are you a little surprised? I know Sean McVay's famous for playing nobody in the preseason, and I know they're in, but are you surprised that he's not playing Stafford this week?
No, that's the way they do it. I mean, the choice they have, they know they're in.
Yeah.
So if they beat the Niners, they're going to be 6. If they lose to the Niners on Sunday and Green Bay beats the Bears, they're 7. So do they want to play at Arlington, Texas against the Cowboys as a 7, assuming Dallas beats Washington? Or do they want to be 6 and play Detroit? I don't know. I mean, I watched that entire Lions-Cowboys game on Saturday all the way to the ridiculous ending.
Yeah.
And that was a battle. I'm not sure who the better team is. They were exchanging blows. That was a battle. Yeah, the Rams did lose to Dallas in Arlington middle of the season, Jason, and they got blown out. And their quarterback, Matthew Stafford, got hurt in that game. He had a bad thumb injury. They thought he needed surgery, and his season would be done. So would they rather play the Lions? We'll see how hard they play. I think the one thing that's fascinating in this game is the Niners are going to play their guys. Brock's not going to play. McCaffrey's not going to play. But it sounds like Trent Williams may play a series or two. I think Bosa's going to play. I'm going back to last year's game against Arizona on January the 8th, and the Niners were never going to be the one. They could have been the 1 seed if they won and Philadelphia lost, but that's not the way it happened. Philadelphia won their game, and the Niners had to play wild card weekend. But at some point there, middle second quarter, into the second half, Kyle started to pull guys off the field. I think that's what you'll see. I think you'll see Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw start this game, but at some point, the green helmet will go from Fred, and they'll give it to D. Winters and Jalen Graham, and the young rookie linebackers will run the team defensively. And at some point, you're going to take Debo and Ayuk off the field, and Ronnie Bell and Chris Conley and those guys are going to finish it up. I'm just not sure where that's going to be. And the Niners have beaten the Rams 9 straight times in the regular season. They'd like to make it 10. And these two guys know each other so well, so it's always so competitive between McVay and Kyle. How do you treat it if the game's tied in the third quarter? Do you leave those guys in a little longer to try to win the game? It's not like baseball where you pinch hit for a guy and he's out of the game. But once Bosa comes out of the game and he takes his shoulder pads off, you're not going to ask him to go back into the game unless something horrific occurs via injury. So it'll be fascinating to see how these two coaches play it. Kyle, as far as seeding, has nothing to play for. For Sean McVay, do you want to be 6 and play Detroit, right, and you're satisfied being 7 and playing the Cowboys?
Yeah. Last thing for you, just out of your own thoughts of watching him in camp and in other times, how do you think Darnold will look and play?
I think he's going to be great. I asked Kyle that question. He said, I think he's going to light him up. And the Rams are not going to play Aaron Donald. They're not going to play Ernest Jones, their linebacker. We'll see how long they leave, Kobe Turner on the field and a few of their top defenders. But his arm talent takes your breath. The Christmas night game, Jason, his first pass he threw was a backside slant to Ayuk, and it was like, whoa. I mean, come on. It was unbelievable. Then he threw it out to Kittle outright, and they were just ropes. And then in practice, the one thing this week is he's running with the ones. He and Brock shared it on Wednesday, but yesterday it was all Sam. And Brock actually jumped in and ran scout team, which was interesting. It's the Niners' #1 defense. But when Sam's running scout team, or when it was Jimmy, when it was Brock, when it was Trey, it's hard to be a scout team Niner quarterback against that defense. They're just all over you. But now that Sam could run the #1 offense against the scout team defense, whole different deal. He got openings, and his arm talent came out. Now he's throwing to Kittle and to Devo and to Ayuk, and he's ripping the ball. So I think he's going to have a big game. He plays quarterback differently than Brock. Brock's got a good arm, but not a Sam Darnold arm. So Brock has to anticipate throws more, where he throws before guys come out of their breaks, in and out of their breaks. Sam waits a little bit longer, but he makes up for it with incredible velocity and arm talent. So I think he's going to ball out on Sunday, honestly.
Yeah, something that'll be fun to watch. Obviously, check out all the calls from Greg Papa. We've enjoyed it all season long. Greg, we look forward to the playoff run, and we'll do this again next week. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Yeah, I can't wait to get Dave back. And next week, we'll just be kicking back and getting ready to watch the wild card round, which the Niners don't have to play in this year, Jason.
That's right. They can just watch and enjoy for sure. Greg, have a great call this weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you. That's the great Greg Papa joining us. Always love talking to Greg each and every week. Enjoy his calls as well. Amazing what he and Tim Ryan do each and every week. We break here, come back. Kings are in action tonight. Get a little preview of the Kings and the Raptors. We'll do that next on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, back here on the show. Coming up in a few moments, we're going to have what to watch tonight. Celebrity birthday. Still Friday fun and games. A good way to finish our Friday. Styles and Watkins will be coming in for that. Tonight, the Sacramento Kings are in action, as we mentioned earlier. Great conversation earlier today, too, with Brendan Nunes. We just talked to Greg Papa. Anything you ever miss on the shows, a reminder, go back to Sactown Sports. You can find all our shows. Their podcasts up for you. So if you miss it between 6 and 10 a.m., you can listen to it on your own time whenever you're available and get all of our shows, certainly Styles and Watkins, the Drive Guys, anything you ever miss. We got other podcasts there for you to check out. But tonight, the Kings are in action. They take on the Toronto Raptors. When I was talking to Brendan, though, we were talking about Toronto. Again, I was reading their new lineup, and this might be a team that does make a little bit of a jump here because I think they did underperform. I personally think when you have that many trade rumors with either Pascal Siakam or at the time OG Anunoby, you're going to be professional. You're going to keep going, but they hear it too. They know. And so when you're a player involved in that, you're thinking, well, and every day, am I still going to be here? The trade deadline, I'm going to be nervous. And in this case, Anunoby didn't even make it to there. But whether they want out or not, you realize it's something that can happen. And I think it does impact the other players because, look, I see this too. Am I going to be thrown into a deal? Am I going to be involved? Or what is our team going to be?
I don't think people really appreciate that side of it either. Just imagine being at your job and just saying, hey, doing a great job, but you might be in Indiana or Miami in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and that's if
or you could be here.
Yeah, and that's if it's being kind of rumored, and then some of them come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember, Chris, and you might have done this so long that, these years and players sometimes blend together. There was a player within the last, I'm going to say a few years, and now maybe it's going to be closer to 10, that was a young player with the Kings that got
Tyrese Halliburton.
No, it wasn't him, but it might be near that time frame. I'll see if I can remember this. But anyway, they were really struggling at the trade deadline. And then like they got through the trade deadline and they were just totally relieved. And I don't know whether they were in the rumor mill or not, but it was a thing where it really, and that goes back to your point where it really agitated them that they just thought, I wanted to stay here. I'm glad I made it. I'm not traded. And that's the human element of it all where you're going, well, why is this player struggling? They only had 8 points tonight. They've been bad for a couple games. Well, if that's weighing on your mind, you can see how it can impact people. And you're right. We're all in the jobs that whether you chose them or not, but you're in your situation. And if tomorrow you're being told, you're going to Cleveland, doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But you're going to Cleveland, working with brand new people, and see ya. Thank you.
Oh, and just to let you know, they really don't want you. They're just going to cut you.
Yeah, exactly. That could be a thing. Or they do want you, or now you're also still up for free agency. It's like, man, can I play well enough here to get the number that I'm trying to get? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of glitz and glamour to it. No doubt. No doubt. There's way more perks, but they have to go through some things too, for sure. So Toronto, I think, was living that a little bit.
I do like how they have been structuring the trade deadline now to where you can't trade a player at a certain time until a certain time on their contract.
Yeah, after they've been in
signed.
The offseason. Yeah.
I really like that because that should alleviate some of that.
At the beginning, for sure. But now with a team like, to me, we've been talking Kings trades. I don't know. And the reality is, and not that it's easy to say that everybody is tradable. And I don't know if the players want to look at it that way. Let's go back to Tyrese Halliburton. Chris, you brought him up. Tyrese started to get grief from people like, stop talking about Sacramento. Well, it bothered him. He wanted to be here. We should appreciate that. And I think we did. But then it just kept coming like, all right, well, you're traded and now you're mad. And like he was throwing barbs a little bit back, but he didn't want to go. Well, he did. And now he's fine. Now he's thriving and we see that. And it's just, that's the hard part of the whole deal.
I still remember like my immediate reaction was like, oh my God, what are they doing? Like I was furious. I think I was on the phone with my mom and I'm just like, no. And she's like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And I'm just like, they just traded Halliburton. And she's just like, you can't say something like that.
Yeah, she's thinking it's far worse. Life-threatening. Well, it's like, this is life-threatening. It's Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah, and I can't remember who else was traded. I think it was when, maybe this was go back to even like Mike Bibby. I think I heard him say it first because he was dealt, and, I don't know if, I think he was excited to come here, or was somewhere around that time when the player kind of transitioned pretty quickly from there's an immediate feeling of when you're traded that you're not wanted. But what this player then flipped it to, well, then I realized the team that traded for me wanted me. So you're looking at it in one way like, oh, Sacramento traded me. They didn't want me if you're Tyrese Halliburton. That's how I think he took it. Well, I don't think that was entirely the case. But he also should know that Indiana wanted you. You were traded for already an all-star. That's the value of where people thought you were going, and now you've become an all-star. And so it's hard to put yourself in those shoes unless it's happened to you, but that's a reality, and I think that's what's happened to Toronto. And they come into tonight with a team that's played better lately. I always like to look at teams like quality wins. Well, their last 2 games, they defeated Cleveland. That's a good win. Defeated Memphis, still a nice win. They are also the team, though, Chris, we should point out, in their last 3 games, and I think the one prior to the trade, let me just make sure I have this factually correct. Maybe it was in between, the trade hadn't happened yet, or maybe the trade had happened, but their last loss, the Toronto Raptors, should be significant for a lot of people. And if you don't remember, they lost to Detroit. That's their last loss. Now they've won the 2 games since the trade, and they've added their 2 new pieces in Quickly and in RJ Barrett. But again, I think a lineup of Quickly and Barrett backcourt, Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam with Jakob Poeltl in the front court, key bench players of Schroeder, Gary Trent Jr., maybe Chris Boucher. That team is better than 14-20, and that's who the Kings are looking at tonight. All right, break time for us. When we come back, got some news and notes, what to watch, and celebrity birthdays before we get you to Friday. Fun and games. Styles and Watkins will be coming in. All of that is straight ahead right here on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone for the life of your garden. The 49ers rang in 2024 with 2 wins. First, defeating Washington 27-10 on the road, Week 17. Then, they clinched the NFC thanks to Arizona's win over Philadelphia. San Francisco now heads into Week 18 with the best record in the conference to finish out the regular season against Los Angeles, before having a bye week to open the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because, I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2023 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good times spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Hi.
Yellow.
Welcome back into the show. Carmichael Dave off until the following Tuesday, whatever we said that was the 16th. As we roll along. Styles and Watkins coming up. Right now it's just Watkins. The Styles
he's getting the show ready.
Yeah.
Is that what he's doing? Is that what he does?
Yeah.
What's he do back there?
Yeah,
I never know what he's doing.
Pretty much what we do. We just we listen to you guys, and if there's anything we want to steal, we'll jot that down real quick, and then get the rest of the show together.
Hey, Jason, you know what the great thing about radio is?
What's that?
You never know what's going to happen.
That's true.
Everything changes.
Oh, what? I thought it was very stable and locked in. Nothing. Chris, you're making stuff up in there. How are you, Chris Watkins?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good, ramp up for the weekend. We got a game tonight. Got a game on Sunday. Can't wait.
Do you know your Vikings scenarios to get into the playoffs?
Gosh. I know if they lose, I'll probably be more happy about it.
You don't want them in?
I just don't, Jason. And it's more just like, a lot of people, rightfully so. I'm not going to tell anybody what they should and shouldn't do when it comes to their fandom, but I just am not if I don't believe that my team is going to have a legitimate chance
You'd rather them out?
I'd rather just be out because, especially last year, everybody kind of, found out the Vikings and figured out that they were had some fraud-like tendencies, and then they ended up losing to Daniel Jones and the New York Giants in the first round. And
So more painful. You'd rather rip the Band-Aid and it's like go 7-10 and just work on
I would just rather not have the obligation of having to watch the game and convincing myself for, 2 hours that we're actually going to win.
And let me see. Your scenarios aren't. I mean, there's only two.
Yeah,
but let's see.
It takes a lot of others to lose, right?
Minnesota win, which that's non-negotiable. You have to win at 7-9.
The Packers? No, it's the Lions.
Lions, which apparently they're playing Goff.
Yeah,
which a lot of teams are not playing their guys. Win plus Green Bay lose plus Seattle lose plus Tampa Bay loss. Okay. So
sounds unlikely.
Green Bay's playing the Bears.
Who knows? Yeah,
Seattle's playing the Cardinals.
Right.
And Tampa, that was a division game. I can't remember who they're playing. Maybe the Saints or something. Or the Falcons, I think. Yeah, the Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons.
All right. So, or Minnesota wins plus Green Bay loss plus Seattle loss plus New Orleans loss. So you need about one win or a combo of three losses.
3 different losses.
And then you would get in at 8 and 9.
And who would we would play the 2 seed, which would
most likely
be the Cowboys?
It's either going to be the Cowboys. There's still a chance at the Eagles or the Lions. Well, no, you would have beaten the Lions. So it would be the Cowboys or the Eagles.
No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Quick exit.
Yes. Very
so just
quick
lose
exit.
this week.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually kind of crazy because as much flack as Kirk Cousins gets, like if Kirk Cousins is healthy right now, are the Vikings kind of like not a sneaky playoff team that would, I think it would just be a tough out.
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah. Just
Probably
how different does that make the narrative around Kirk Cousins? Like this would have been a prime, oh my gosh, Kirk Cousins finally gets his respect kind of year with all the quarterbacks kind of bowing out a bit.
Yeah. But
that's not how it works.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Again, we never explained the short list Kirk Cousins.
Don't really have an answer for it.
Crowd.
I mean, yeah, he had those Kirko Chains moments last year where he would be on the plane ride home and he would take his shirt off and put on some of the offensive linemen's chains. And I guess that's what it was. But he took his shirt off and was like, I guess we're going to blow this Gillahorn or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Love it.
So tonight, what you need to check out, what you need to watch, it's Kings basketball, Kings and Raptors. Raptors I think they're sneaky better than, it's just even the trade.
Yeah.
Maybe a little certainty of the lineups. Lineup looks a little more sound than a 14-20 team to me.
Yeah. Definitely.
Even though their last loss was to the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah. I mean, the Raptors have always kind of had talent, but the last 2 years, it's just felt like it feels like everybody knows that everyone is on the trade block, whether it was Van Vliet last year, Siakam and OG last year. And then
before that, Lowry,
Lowry.
Is Kawhi going to be here? Like they've had this for a while.
It's a mess. Yeah.
But it is time now, guys, for celebrity birthdays. Brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies. And birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies.
Love Crumble.
Or these donuts. You haven't had a donut yet.
I haven't had a donut yet, no. I haven't had any of my breakfast yet. So I got a little sandwich here. I got
choices.
Yeah. I'm gonna need. We're gonna have to wrap up like maybe
a little early.
Yeah, a little bit early, so I can at least finish one of them.
Happy birthday, guys! Chris and Chris to Bradley
Cooper.
Bradley Beal. We do have a correct answer. It's Bradley Cooper. How old is Brad? Is he Brad Cooper? No, he's Bradley Cooper.
He's got to be. Yeah.
How's Bradley Cooper today?
I would think they call him BC.
BC. How's BC today?
Bradley Cooper's probably like older than what you would think. I'll say 50. I'll say 5'5" today for Bradley Cooper.
Oh, no. He's like 40.
You think?
48. Okay, the correct answer, 49 for Bradley Cooper. You gave us some rationale there.
Yeah, I was watching Silver Linings Playbook the other day, and you really hear, like, I always forget that he's Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's like the raccoon, and like I was watching it the other day, and you hear it in some of his. It's really only when he yells.
He's actually been in so many things, but for me, it's Hangover.
Oh, so good. Right, yeah.
Just
that's
his role to me.
You know what's an underrated movie for Bradley
Limitless?
Cooper? Limitless, Chris. Limitless. So good.
You've seen it?
I've seen it. It's so good. I've probably only seen it twice, too. No, it's so good. It's so good. Get out of here.
Happy birthday,
Snob.
Marilyn
Monroe.
Manson.
Correct, Marilyn Manson. How old is Marilyn Manson today?
How old would Marilyn Monroe be? Manson is probably, 58.
54.
Christopher Laud with a win, 55 for Marilyn Manson. Yeah. Happy birthday to former King Malachi Richardson.
Wow. Remember that he played he was the first rookie to play that half season, and then he got hurt. I think he pulled his hamstring or something.
Have
and
any
he
moments?
Never came back. No, not really.
I don't remember anything of Malachi Richardson.
Malachi is probably 28 right now.
31.
We have a correct answer. Malachi Richardson is 28.
Come on. Talk to me nice.
Happy birthday to Diane.
Feinstein.
That's what I was going to say.
114.
Is there another
Diane Keaton? You know Diane Keaton?
Oh.
No, Michael Keaton.
Diane Keaton. You don't know her?
Any relation?
No. Legendary actress. Been
I've heard it.
A million things. If you saw her, you would know.
Yeah,
I'll go first for you, Chris.
Okay.
I will say Diane Keaton is 74 today.
I want to show you her picture,
Please.
just so you have a reference.
There's I've definitely heard the name. It sounds famous. Oh, for sure. What'd you say, Chris?
74.
74.
Wow. Okay. I'll go 70. I'll go 70 on the nose.
Okay, Christopher Laud for the win. 78 for Diane Keaton. Man. Happy birthday to former Kings assistant coach, NBA legend Alex English.
Ooh.
Former Denver Nugget.
Put a little English on it.
Yeah. I don't remember what coaching staff he was with, but he was here.
Really?
Was it George Karls? I don't know. Alex English.
That would make sense, right? He was a Nuggets legend. He scored a ton.
Yes.
Yeah, like a ton. Alex English, we'll say Alex English is 63.
66.
Christopher Laud for the win, 70 for Alex English. All right, we'll end with happy birthday to Warwick Dunn, former running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh.
Running backs are
Warwick
so
Dunn.
weird.
Yeah. I'll say Warwick Dunn's 48.
44.
Chris Watkins for the win, 49. You needed that one.
I needed that one
Yeah,
bad.
49.
I think Warwick Dunn had one of those where he had an organization where he built houses for low-income families. One of those houses was Deshaun Watson's family house.
How crazy was that?
Insane.
Yeah, the connection there. I mean, just odd.
It's insane.
All right, when we come back, we close out the week of this show at least. Get you ready for Watkins and Styles and Watkins. But we have Friday, fun and games. That is next.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football, Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than freshly baked and home-delivered crumble cookies.
We have finally made it to Friday.
Let's end your week the right way with Friday Fun and Games
On the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, here we are.
64.
There you go. Yeah, you
I
did
would've
say
got
that.
it.
Oh, you
Yeah.
nailed it.
And so tomorrow, is that tomorrow's birthday, Chris?
Yes.
Howie Long? Oh,
And John Singleton.
John Spoods. 59? Nah, he's probably a little older than that. Anyway.
He is. I think I just went past it. He is. Don't tell me. Wait, what did you say?
59.
58.
Okay. I got to start playing in celebrity
Wait, I'm
birthdays.
doing math wrong. He's not 58.
Okay. Anyway. What's up, Alan Stiles?
Not too much.
Yeah?
You know, just working.
Okay.
51, by the way. 51.
Oh, 51.
It's going to rain tomorrow again. So
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really? Oh, my gosh.
Where are you, you two on the weather front? What would be ideal?
I'm a tropical guy.
Yes.
You know, give me
North of 80?
Yeah, I'm with it.
Sun?
I'm with it. I'm with it all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm like high 60s, low 70s, and like
But sunny.
Sunny. Definitely
Yeah.
sunny. But like I like the hybrid where it's like you can wear the sweatshirt if you want. You can maybe go sweatshirt shorts if you're so inclined, or you can go, you know, like pants and shirt. I like to have my options.
Okay.
I'm 62 and overcast.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That checks out.
You know, but you know, being up here, we're closer to the mountains. I'm just getting used to this.
We're an hour away from everything.
Yeah, just getting used to
Sacramento.
this new, you know, outdoor living.
Yeah. Outdoor living.
Have you been to Amador yet, Alan? Have you been to Amador yet?
No.
That's the place to go.
What is it?
It's better than Napa.
It's a winery type place.
Oh.
But everybody kind of goes Napa. And so
Okay.
That's
with
our,
that.
I'm giving you our secret. I'm welcoming you into
Thank you.
Sacramento.
I will definitely check in on that.
Oops. Can't see that. That was top secret information.
I saw it.
I don't think we have done this version of Friday Funny Games with you guys yet. So it's happening today. Chris, do you have our music in there? Because we're going to...
Is it the Casa Bonita music? Oh,
we're playing the feud.
Thank
We
you.
are playing the feud. We're going to do this as a team with you, three of you first before we get to Fast Money. So we got a question for you today on Friday Funny Games. See if you can get our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 answers are on the board.
Okay.
Alan Stiles, we'll start with you before getting 3 misses.
Oh, no.
Question is, 100 people surveyed. Name something that's cheap and greasy. Top 8 answers on the board.
I'm with between two, and I don't want to be wrong. What would it be? I'm going to go with my first inclination. I'm going to say pizza.
Pizza is on the board. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Whew. Pizza on the board. Chris Watkins. Name something that is cheap and greasy.
I'll say a hamburger.
Hamburger. Good answer. Good answer. Number one answer.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Verlaud. No misses yet for the team.
All hits.
I'm going to say taco.
Taco. Interesting choice.
Strong answer.
Choice with only 2 and the last one. So you got a tough one.
Woo.
Number 8 on the board. So we still have 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Name something that's cheap and greasy. No strikes on the board.
The problem is the word cheap, right? Because that's a relative term.
Yeah.
I at this point, I'll go Chinese food.
Our first X. Chris, be careful. You got 1 strike against the team.
Oh.
I'll go with a I don't know which one I should go with. I want to say like a hot link, but I don't know if there'll be if there's like a sausage or hot dog category.
You know what? If that's your answer, this is a stretch, but I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay.
With bacon. That's probably too much of a stretch.
That's a big stretch. That's a very big stretch.
I'm going to be a very lenient judge.
Thank you.
Especially since I was going to say breakfast, which I think would have been
that would be more specific. All right, so here we go. Only 1 strike. Chris.
Greasy and cheap.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah. You're missing number 2, 3, 4, and 7. And good luck on number 7.
Greasy and cheap.
Man, I think
these are all food items, not people.
Can I talk with the team? I can't talk with the team, right?
No, because you'll get another answer in a minute. 1X, Chris. We need an answer.
Burrito.
Wow.
Alan.
See, okay,
keep
so
the team alive.
What I'm thinking is we're thinking too hot, right?
Okay.
Chips.
Greasy chips is your answer. Just to keep the team alive.
What?
Yeah.
Greasy chips.
Number 7.
What is okay?
Number 7. I said good luck with this one. My ex.
Like I said, is this all food or
number 4? There's 100 people surveyed. Number 4 was oil, grease, or lard.
Is that a joke?
To eat that? Who eats that?
It says name something that's cheap and greasy.
Grease.
Didn't have to eat it.
Okay.
Number 3, chicken or chicken wings.
Yeah.
And number 2, I thought you guys would definitely get this, French fries.
Yeah. I like greasy French
chips.
fries.
I said chips. I'm thinking in
Dave,
right. UK.
Facts.
That's like bacon. I should have given you the credit.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, 1 more before we get to fast money as a team. I got to figure out which of these I want to make as a team.
Don't start with me this time.
Okay. Let's see. All right, here we go. As a team, Chris Watkins, you'll lead us off. Name something, top 100 surveys here. Yep. Name something people might only do once a week. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 answers on the board.
Shave.
Wow.
That's
not a bad answer. Chris?
Wow.
Verlaud.
I'm going to say clean.
Clean.
It's pretty broad.
Vacuum.
Okay, I'm glad for the more specific.
I meant mop.
I mean, I'm really channeling the actual show here, so you're going to have to go Steve Harvey if I'm wrong. Intercourse.
Look at the camera.
Give me intercourse. Give me whoopee.
Make it love.
No?
Wow. Can we get another shot?
I thought that
Number
yeah, can we just reset it?
Okay, we'll
Let's
try
reset
around,
the
see if we can
board
go 0 for 6.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
Oh my gosh.
Because I want to get to fast money.
Something you only do once a week.
As voted on.
I got a good one.
Man, it's like not shower. It's not. I would hope it's. I hope you got it. Yeah. Let's say once a week. Family dinner.
Chris.
Man.
Go to church.
Oh,
yes,
there
number
you go.
4. Number 4. Go
Holy
to church.
man.
Mm-hmm.
We got 1 strike, Alan.
Yep. I would say once a week. This is a stretch.
These answers actually make sense, guys.
Oh, I got one.
I would say, not floss.
9 out of 10 dentists just threw up.
Yeah.
Cut the grass.
To keep mow the yard is 5th.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 5 and
That's all I
4.
got.
1, 2, and 3 are still on the board.
Oh.
To keep the team alive,
Got
Chris
another
Verlaud.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah.
I got one.
Get paid.
get paid. That's not a bad one, but that is incorrect.
I got one.
We got 6 X's.
Laundry.
Laundry, number 1 answer. Grocery shop, number 2 answer. Exercise, number 3 answer.
Once a week?
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so we're going to go to Fast Money. Which one of you two, as show contributors together, wants to go first?
I'll
Chris.
go first.
All right, so Alan, you need to leave the room.
Oh.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Remember how this
Get out of
works.
here.
Yeah, you can't hear the secret. And you just go down the hall. Don't listen in the hallway if
Right.
you can. We'll call you back in.
Yeah. Go to the extra studio.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be summoned in a moment. All right, Chris, this is Fast Money.
All right.
Here you go. You know how this works.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure he doesn't cheat.
Yeah. All right, Chris, here we go. Name an occasion where parents force their kids to wear a certain outfit.
Gotta go quick.
Okay. Let's go church.
Church. Name a reason that someone might ride their bike to work.
Car issues.
Sorry. Name something
Faster.
you do in front of a mirror.
Brush your teeth.
Name something you might eat with crackers.
Cheese.
Give me a 3-letter word that starts with the letter Z.
Zoo.
Okay. Well
All
done.
right.
Yeah, all right. To wear a certain outfit. You said church. 15 points.
They're right there.
15 points. Name a reason that someone might ride their bike to work. You said car issues. 46 points. We're going to have to add this up here.
Number 1 answer.
What are we at? I can't reveal that yet. You're at 61 points.
Nice.
Name something you do in front of a mirror.
Yeah, that one could have got.
What did you say?
Dicey. I said brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth. 26 points.
Yeah, it's flex up there.
You're at 87. I can't say.
I
Name something you might eat with crackers. You said
cheese.
Cheese. 24 points.
Come on, Parcheesi.
You are at 111. And the last
Come
one.
on,
Give
Alan.
me a 3-letter word that starts with the letter Z. You said zoo. 40 points. You were at 151.
Come on.
Good
Alan.
work. Let's
Alan.
bring in
Come
Alan
on.
Styles.
Serving easier.
Yes.
Wait, I can stay here. Huh?
You can stay here. Yeah.
For a while, probably.
All right. He got him. Alan Styles. Let's bring him out. That's why you have a partner.
My bad, buddy.
Alan, you want the good news or the bad news?
Whoa!
You heard some cheering. Well, that could be misleading.
Yeah.
We were trying to
Finally
encourage.
got one.
I will let
And
you know.
this has got to be very fast money.
Okay.
Very fast money.
All right.
Your partner got you 151 points. All you need is 49 to win. But
Okay.
you're going second. If you have answered the same answer as Chris, you'll hear and you have to answer another answer.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's go for the big prize. Name an occasion where parents force their kids to wear a certain outfit.
Church. Birthday party.
Name a reason that someone might ride a bike to work.
Car broke down. Save the air day. Spare the air
There
day.
you go.
Name something you do in front of a mirror.
Shave.
Name something you might eat with crackers.
Cheese. Meat.
Give me a 3-letter word that starts with the letter Z.
Zoo. Zen.
Okay. Let's see how you did. You needed,
Excellent.
what do we say? 49 points. Here we go. Name a certain or name an occasion where a parent forced their kids to wear a certain outfit. I already forgot what you said. Birthday party. Survey says 0.
Okay.
Number 1 answer was wedding. Wedding was number 1 answer. Name a reason someone might ride their bike to work. You said save the environment.
Yeah.
7 points. So you're
Okay.
at 158. Number 1 answer was car issue. Name something you might do in front of the mirror. You said shave.
Good answer. Good
It's
answer.
a really good answer. It's not on the board.
What?
Can you believe that?
Excuse me?
I'm looking at every answer. Brush teeth, brush hair, Papa's it. Check out your outfit, practice dance moves.
If I would have said flex, would that have counted?
It's not on there. Name something you might eat with crackers. You said meat. 11 points.
Oh my gosh.
169.
Nice.
31 points.
It's not happening.
Give me a letter that starts with a 3-letter word that starts with the letter Z. Number 1 answer was zoo, which you had. You said Zen. You need 39.
What is the number 1? Oh, zoo is number 1.
Zip.
Zip's on there. Zap, Zen, Zip.
A lot of
All
zits
right.
in that final.
Yeah.
That was
All right, gotta go.
That's a downer. It's coming up on the show.
Not that.
Yeah, not that. A whole lot of case talk.
Yeah. Hey, eat a donut. You'll feel better.
Yeah, I will.
Feel a lot better.
That's it. Thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Styles and Watkins coming your way next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Keegan, going for another triple.